Is out there for Liverpool, a very late change, which we're just checking on Liverpool's social media. They've not actually announced yet, but Florian Wirtz, who was named in the starting lineup, is not out there, and Curtis Jones is in instead. So we'll try and get confirmation of why that is. As we say, Liverpool haven't even announced that on their socials. This is just from us here at the City Ground, and producer Chris Sykes looking out there and saying, oh, hang on a minute, that's Curtis Jones, number 17, not Florian Wirtz, number 7. So we'll get confirmation of that. And whether Wirtz is on the bench, we presume there was some sort of issue there, but it must have been very late on indeed. So we'll take you through the full lineups in a moment, and as well, that will be interesting to see if Jones slots in at right back, because we thought Szoboszlai would do that when Jones had come out of the team, but at the moment it looks like Szoboszlai is at right back for Liverpool, and Jones has come into midfield.
I wouldn't want them to change that just now. They wouldn't want to change that at the last second.
In terms of the right back position, even though Jones has played there as well. So we'll take you through the lineups in a moment. Liverpool are in possession, kicking from right to left in their change strip. The white shirts, the dark shorts and the white socks. Nottingham Forest in their home kit. The red shirts, the white shorts and the red socks, and it's Liverpool in possession with Cody Gakpo in the centre. Plays it back to Ibrahima Konate, just making sure that the rest of the Liverpool team are what we expected from the team sheet, but I think they are. So it is just that one change. Curtis Jones in for Florian Wirtz, and as we say, that has just happened in the last few moments. We will get confirmation of why that change has been made. So Liverpool in possession, still inside their own half here at the City Grounds. We've got a choice of listening for you. The other 2 o'clock kickoff, Sunderland against Fulham, is over on Sports Extra 2. Crystal Palace against Wolves is on Sports Extra 3 as Nottingham Forest pick up possession and play it all the way back to Stefan Ortega. Pat Nevin.
Just to underline it, we've got the Premier League coverage on our video screen in front of us here at the ground, and they've got Florian Wirtz still playing. So it must have been the latest of last minute decisions, and well done to Chris, producer, for spotting that. Well done.
Absolutely. It's literally as the teams were walking out. So Nottingham Forest interception. Amari Hutchinson plays it just ahead of Igor Jesus, and Ibrahima Konate inside the penalty area will come across there and steer it back to Alisson. Liverpool trying to play the way out of trouble and have done so. Milos Kerkez picks it up and drives towards the halfway line. He's got Curtis Jones ahead of him, picks it up on that halfway line, but well challenged by Sangare, and Sangare will squeeze it forward, looking for the run of Callum Hudson-Odoi. He's in here, Hudson-Odoi for Nottingham Forest, big save by Alisson, and it ricochets back off Hudson-Odoi and behind for the Nottingham Forest goal kick. For the Liverpool goal kick, I should say. What an opportunity for Nottingham Forest inside the opening 3 minutes, and for Callum Hudson-Odoi.
Well, staggeringly sloppy from Liverpool. They gave the ball away 3 times within a minute there in their own half. You can't do that. You can't just pass it lazily when a team's going to close you down like that. And the other thing that has to be said, we all think Szoboszlai is a fabulous player for them. He is not an actual right full-back, and he get caught on the wrong side of Callum Hudson-Odoi there, and that should be 1-0 to Forest.
Yeah, it's a position he's played a few times for Liverpool this season, but as Pat says, it is not his natural position at all, and he's got more work to do here. Up against Callum Hudson-Odoi, down the left-hand side goes Hudson-Odoi, hugging that left-hand touchline, now plays it in field to Igor Jesus, picked up by Mo Salah now with the interception for Liverpool on the far side, and Konate will steer it back to Alisson. So, producer Chris, hard at work, confirmation. Florian Wirtz injured in the warm-up, so he's not on the bench. And Liverpool, we mentioned, they are struggling for bodies at the moment, got a host of injuries, so Freddie Woodman comes onto the bench, making it 2 goalkeepers and a host of youngsters alongside the likes of Joe Gomez and Andy Robertson, the senior outfield players. As Cody Gakpo trying to reach that ball on the left-hand side and does well, traps it down by the byline, pulls it back looking for the run of Milos Kerkez. It won't find him, but it will find Gravenberch, and Kerkez will now steer it back to Van Dijk. 4 minutes gone here at the City Ground on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, and it's goalless between Nottingham Forest and Liverpool as Salah has it on the right-hand side, plays it into Hudson-Odoi, who's had the best chance of the game so far. In on goal, huge save by Alisson, and the ball ricocheting back onto Hudson-Odoi, then behind for the Liverpool goal kick as Murillo clears away at the back under pressure, chested down by Konate, collected by Szoboszlai, back to Van Dijk, and let's take you through the teams. For Forest, Ortega in goal, the back four of Aina, Milenkovic, Murillo and Williams, the former Liverpool man, Anderson and Sangare ahead of him, with Hutchinson, Gibbs-White and Hudson-Odoi supporting Igor Jesus up front. That is the same team that had that fabulous win away in Turkey on Thursday at Fenerbahce in the Europa League, as Cody Gakpo brings it down the left-hand side. Good ball to Kirkes. Very good strength by Amari Hutchinson to barge him off the ball down by the byline. Plays it out to the right-hand side, and Ola Aina nicely laid off by Gibbs White to Hutchinson. And now Elliot Anderson. They're playing some lovely stuff in Nottingham Forest, and Callum Hudson-Odoi is away in the sunshine as the sun breaks through the clouds in Nottingham here. Down the left-hand side he goes, approaching the penalty area, pulls it back to Anderson. Gives it back to Hudson-Odoi, swings it in looking for the run of Hutchinson. Gravenberg had read it, heads it out to the right-hand side, and Canate won't prevent the corner for Nottingham Forest on the far side. This has been a bright start from the home side.
Yeah, you talk about the far side there, but Szoboszlai, I mean, it just allows Callum Hudson to get the ball all the time, which allows him to get an individual one-on-one run at him. It's not what you do with a winger. You try and close him down and stop the ball getting to him.
So corner to be taken from the far side for Nottingham Forest. It's a packed 6-yard box. It's a poor corner. You can hear from the groans around the City ground what they think of that delivery from the man who is so popular here, Elliot Anderson. Played out by Liverpool for a Nottingham Forest throw. So Liverpool, I'll take you through their lineup in a moment because Forest has got things moving quickly, but that is stumped here by Liverpool. So that late change to the team, Weerts injured in the warm-up, so Curtis Jones in. Liverpool line up like this: Alisson in goal, the back four of Szoboszlai, Canate, Van Dijk and Kirkes. Ahead of them, Gravenberg, Jones and McAllister, with Salah and Gakpo supporting Ekitike up top. Initially it was just the 2 changes from the Brighton win. It's 3 with Weerts dropping out now as Kirkes plays the ball away under pressure from Amari Hutchinson. And let's head to Selhurst Park. Palace against Wolves. Sohail Sahi.
Yeah, 6 minutes played here, Vicky. Crystal Palace 0, Wolves 0. For an early chance, though, for Crystal Palace, Mosquera, the Wolves centre-half, got caught in possession. He tried to play a pass back to his goalkeeper. Pino nicked him 25 yards away, tried to lob Jose Sarr, but over the top it went. Crystal Palace 0, Wolves 0.
And still goalless here at the City ground between Forest and Liverpool as Nottingham Forest come forward once more. Here's Gibbs White, pulls it back to Elliot Anderson, midway through the Liverpool half. Out to the left-hand side, and here's Hudson-Odoi once more, taking on Szoboszlai once more. Got a feeling I'll be saying that a bit this afternoon. Sangare, 25 yards out, picked up the ball, central position, lays it off to Ola Aina on the right-hand side, and forward now to Amari Hutchinson. Sangare's continued his run into the area, but Hutchinson will pull it back to Ola Aina. Now picked up by Gibbs White, and Hutchinson found on the right-hand side, swings the ball in. It's cleared away by Virgil van Dijk. Murillo, though, has stepped up into the Liverpool half and wins that header as it spins out now to the left-hand side, and Nico Williams tussling with Salah, and Salah gets the better of him, plays it back to Gravenberg, and Liverpool have it just outside their own penalty area. Let's head to the Stadium of Light. Sunderland against Fulham. Rob Law.
0-0, 7 minutes in, Vicky. Open game so far. Both teams seeing a lot of the ball. Sunderland slightly shading it so far, but still waiting for the first real chance of the game. Sunderland 0, Fulham 0.
And commentary is over on 5 Sports Extra as Curtis Jones picks up the ball and cuts it in field to Ibrahima Konate. Pat Nevin.
They have changed it, I think. I think Szoboszlai's moved already. It wasn't, well, no, he's changing back now. He actually switched for a minute there, and he's changing back now, and that is a real problem for them. As a wide player, you're desperate to get a chance to get on the ball and run at your defender. Szoboszlai doesn't want to get close. Really interesting, the two wingers. Hutchinson looks very, very dangerous against Kirkes on the right-hand side as well for Forest.
Olaran has been brought down by McAllister. That's going to be a free kick, 30 yards out. And Nottingham Forest, as you say, Hutchinson looking dangerous. But one of the things that's really stood out to me since Vitor Pereira came in, only on the 15th of February, but talking about identity and asking the players to express themselves. This is what he said after the win at Fenerbahce. You know, the players need results, but they need to enjoy the game. I wanted them to express themselves on the pitch, and they did it. And Gibbs White as well, saying that he felt they had a real identity out there, and they are playing with a freedom and an aggression that wasn't always evident under Dyche. As Hutchinson swings the ball into the penalty area, it's headed away on the edge of the 6-yard box by Van Dijk, picked up by Murillo on the left-hand side, now in field to Gibbs White, who goes down. Nothing doing there as the Forest fans appealed for a penalty, and it's behind for a Liverpool goal kick. But just on those comments about identity from Vitor Pereira.
Yeah, he said that, but he also said another line as well alongside it, which was allied to it, which is, I'm fearless and I want my team to be fearless. And as a player, that's what I want to hear. You think, okay, you believe in us. If you believe in us, we'll have a go at it. And we will try things and we will make mistakes because you trust us and you believe in us. And it's been quite noticeable, and certainly at the start of this game they've been the better side.
And here goes Elliot Anderson driving from range, narrowly wide. I think Allison had it covered, but it's another attacking foray forward, and you can see here Dominic Szoboszlai and Ibrahima Konate are having a right set to about positioning, and Szoboszlai at right back looks furious.
Well, as I explained to you before, you play one-on-ones and tackles, Szoboszlai will be fine, but it's a positional sense is not quite right for a right full-back. It is amazing you think of Liverpool. They have never, it's been a long time, Trent left a long time ago now, still never got that position really sorted.
Well, they have won a free kick just inside the Nottingham Forest half. Ekitike is down.
Do you know, can you explain this to me? Ekitike is doing this just now, a lot of players do this. They go down and they get hit, and for some reason it's their wrist that seems to be affected. The hand goes up and you start throwing the wrist about. It's a very weird thing when you get kicked in the leg and your wrist hurts. I'm not saying he didn't get kicked. He did get kicked. It's a weird reaction.
Well, we're just seeing a shot there of Florian Wirtz sitting amongst the Liverpool technical staff. So he's not on the bench. He was injured during the warm-up. Curtis Jones has come in and Freddie Woodman has taken his place amongst the subs for Liverpool. Goals going in the Women's FA Cup 5th round. Manchester City have taken an early lead against Sheffield United. Lauren Hemp has got that goal. And another Sheffield news, if you're just joining us, Sheffield Wednesday relegated from the Championship this afternoon with a 2-1 defeat at Sheffield United, the first side in English Football League history to be relegated in February. But of course there is context to that, the 18-point deduction. These are bitter times and bitter pills to swallow indeed for Sheffield Wednesday fans, as Allison picks up the ball in his own penalty area. 11 minutes gone here at the City Ground on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, and Liverpool with a rare foray forward. Here is Curtis Jones as Ekitike in the centre, plays it instead to Cody Gakpo, who's challenged by Sangare, and he raises a hand of apology to referee Anthony Taylor because he knows that's a foul. And this is a good set-piece opportunity for Liverpool, just about bang smack angle-wise between the edge of the D and the left-hand corner of the penalty area, 27 or so yards out.
Well, I was going to say, it's probably about 2 or 3 yards further than you feel comfortable taking a shot. And then Szoboszlai walks on the ball and you think, well, maybe not. Maybe I'll have a go at this. Because when he strikes it, it not only stays struck, but it moves all over the place. He has scored some extraordinary goals from further out than this, I would suggest. So this is a real opportunity. Having said that, Konate's in the middle there, Van Dijk's going to attack it as well, and Mo Salah's on the ball, so lots of questions going to be asked from this free kick.
Yeah, a little bit shy of the 30 yards from where he scored that sumptuous free kick against Arsenal earlier this season, but as Pat says, they've got the options if they want to swing it in. I don't know, he looks like he fancies this Szoboszlai. He's not had the best start at right back. This is where he's more comfortable. No, it is Salah, swings it in, Van Dijk was in there, it's a good header away by Murillo, forward again by Ekitike from 12 yards, and it sails over the bar, 0-0.
Do you know, I think the reason why he didn't have a dig at that there, because the position was good enough for him to have a little go at it, Szoboszlai, but because of the wall had actually sneaked forward, and it really wasn't the 10 yards, so I don't think the referee had actually put down the spray, so they tiptoes forward, and just an extra yard forward makes that up and down just about impossible. So
Stefan Ortega sends the ball along to the edge of the centre circle. It's collected by Igor Jesus, but Szoboszlai is in midfield at the moment. Gets the foot in and Gakpo's going to drive. It's blocked on the edge of the penalty area by Milenkovic. Nottingham Forest win it back, and now Szoboszlai is well out of position. This system from Liverpool is fascinating, and I just wonder here whether Szoboszlai has taken it upon himself just to move out of position for now, as the free kick is given to Nottingham Forest in the centre circle. Igor Jesus down, and now Szoboszlai is back at right back. I think one of the reasons we're focusing on this so much is because of that change in the warm-up. Wirtz comes out because he's injured. Curtis Jones comes in. Jones, who played at right back in the last match against Brighton, but clearly Arne Slot had the ability to play Jones at right back if he wanted to for this game. He's chosen Szoboszlai, but it just does mean that there's focus now, doesn't there, with Jones on the pitch as well, because that's the other option.
I have to say, Jones, another man who's not a right back, absolutely nowhere near it. He's playing in the 10 position today, a clear, obvious 10 today, and he's much more suited to it. What is actually happening, which is quite clever for them, is Gravenberch is actually taking up the right back position when Szoboszlai moves forward. And that seems to be working quite well when they do that change. But they always have to remember to do it, because if Szoboszlai goes forward, which he did before, found himself on the left wing there, and then Gravenberch doesn't go back in and cover, well, they could be in trouble. And I'm sure Callum Hudson-Odoi is looking for that moment. But at the moment it looks a little bit better than it did for the first few minutes with Liverpool. They did start off a bit sluggish play, didn't they? But a little bit better now, holding the ball better.
Are they in possession midway through their own half? It's goalless here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, but as you say, Pat, right back has been such a problem position for them this season. They're still without Conor Bradley, that knee injury last month. He's not expected to play again this campaign. Jeremy Frimpong could return for West Ham next week, but Wataru Endo as well, who's filled in there. Even the fill-in options are out injured, which is why it has been Jones and now it's Szoboszlai. But here is Ekitike midway through the Nottingham Forest half. Murillo gets a foot in, and here goes Igor Jesus out to the right hand side, and it's Amari Hutchinson bearing down on the Liverpool goal. Hutchinson still just outside the penalty area. He's got Gibbs White here as an option, and here he is. Gibbs White swings the ball in. It's headed away by a stooping Kanate, and Van Dijk will flick it on the edge of the penalty area, only as far as Gibbs White. Sangare gets a toe there ahead of Curtis Jones, and Anderson gets his head on it, and Sangare calmly plays it out to Morgan Gibbs White. That's a lovely play from Forest as Gibbs White digs the delivery out. It's headed away again by Kanate under pressure from Igor Jesus. Picked up now by Murillo, who's going to drive, blocked away by McAllister, flicked on by Anderson. Jesus inside the area, can't really make good enough contact on it, and so Anthony Taylor calls the play back. Played advantage there. Anderson had gone down, he's holding his head, and the medical staff from Nottingham Forest had been waved on very quickly there from Anthony Taylor. So it's going to be, I think, a free kick for Elliot Anderson for calling back the advantage. Either way, he stopped it because there's a head injury.
Well, I think there may be a clash of heads with him and Van Dijk, so they don't always give a free kick for that, but you'll see what the referee makes of it. But again, they look really a little bit shaky at the back there. A moment before that, there was a break on the right hand side by Forest. They had an extra man, they had an overload, and Virgil van Dijk had to come out and destroy it. And honestly, there are so few players with the match intelligence to do what Virgil van Dijk did there. He killed an attack that had two players against him just by tiny little moves. We all know, we've all seen him do it before. He goes, he stays, he holds off a bit, he makes him an attacker make a decision that he doesn't want to make, and he killed the moment. So fabulous play there by Van Dijk, and just to see if Van Dijk has stayed on. No, he's coming off as well as Elliot Anderson to take 30 seconds away.
Yes, so Anderson and Van Dijk are off. It is going to be a Forest free kick. I mean, it's exactly as you say, Pat. It wasn't too clear from referee Anthony Taylor from where we're sitting in that huddle of players whether it was just stopping it to get the players getting treatment. But he did call it back. He saw it as a foul on Elliot Anderson. So, great opportunity this for Forest. It's 24 yards out, dead central. They've got Murillo there, they've got Hutchinson. And of course, they've got Morgan Gibbs White.
I mean, it's got Gibbs White written all over it. But we do know that Murillo, he can thump a ball as well. But it's a perfect position because it's dead centre, just outside the D.
Well, Anderson obviously can't take it because he's off, so he's reduced from the list of options. But Gibbs White looks like he fancies this. 0-0. Big chance here for Forest, so he lays it off to Murillo, who fires it into the wall, and it's cleared away by Liverpool. Comes to Nico Williams, out to the left-hand side, and Callum Hudson-Odoi. Plenty forward still for Forest as Nico Williams plays the ball into the area, beautifully chested away by Gravenberch, and then McAllister will try and bring it away, but Szoboszlai runs into trouble, and it's picked up by Hudson-Odoi on the left-hand side once again. Gibbs White wants it unmarked on the edge of the area, and Hudson-Odoi tried to find him, and Gakpo makes a very important interception, then gets a little push on the back from Sangare. Free kick to Liverpool, just outside their own penalty area, and Elliot Anderson and Virgil van Dijk are back on. Let's head for an update in the FA Cup 5th round. Chelsea against Manchester United in the women's game, half-time.
Yeah, both teams had 5-0 victories in their fourth round matches, but goalless so far here. Chelsea controlled the tempo early on, but Manchester United have looked dangerous on the break. 2 attempts from an informed Jess Park, who scored 2 in their last 2 matches. 1 saved, 1 over the bar, and Chelsea responded well. All the stats are in their favour. Their best chance from Lauren James, but they haven't managed to find that finishing touch. At the break, it's Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0.
Emily Kilner, thank you very much indeed. So, here at the City Ground, Liverpool just play the ball out of play, and it is still goalless with 90 minutes played. Pat Nevin.
90 minutes played, Vicky. How often have Liverpool got over the halfway line in that 19 minutes? That's a real surprise. I would have expected a lot more. You've hardly been able to mention Ekitiki's name because he's not been involved. He's not been given good balls, so no complaints about him. He's just got no service. And of course, Mo Salah, again, absolutely limited involvement there. And he's going back to help his fullback a little bit now, but that's the first time he's done that in the game.
Here is Hudson-Odoi, plays the ball over the top, looking for the run of Nico Williams, who will reach it. He's got Salah there with him in attendance as Williams pulls it back to Elliot Anderson, played it forward, well anticipated by Salah there on the edge of his own penalty area, makes the interception, and Curtis Jones trying to ease away from the challengers, goes down but no free kick given, and Ola Aina will pick it up, cuts it back, looking for Morgan Gibbs-White. It'll fall to Elliot Anderson, it's blocked away by McAllister. Now Gibbs-White trying to latch onto it. Konate takes charge, comes out of his area and heads the ball away out to the right hand side and Salah, but they just cannot make the ball stick at the moment, Liverpool. And Nottingham Forest have it once again. Here's Callum Hudson-Odoi taking on Szoboszlai, pulls it back to Elliot Anderson and out to the left hand side, and Nico Williams once more, and out further left he goes to the byline and collected by Callum Hudson-Odoi. They switch the play now over to this right-hand touchline, and Milenkovic now in the centre will pull it back to Murillo, but they are zipping the ball around with real confidence, Nottingham Forest.
Do you know what? The team in red look like they're Liverpool at the moment, just because they're controlling it and they're passing it at will with no problem at all, not being closed down.
And that's lovely, working it down to the left-hand side. Elliot Anderson swings the ball into the area. Amari Hutchinson will pick it up. Right-hand side of the box. Finds room for the shot, but it's tame and it dribbles along the grass and into the grateful arms of Alisson. 0-0.
The problem they've had really is because that final ball hasn't been absolutely brilliant at all. Try and get the ball in to Igor Jesus. Now, talking about, getting the ball to strikers, I mean, most of the Forest players have had plenty of the ball, but Jesus hasn't. He's got very, very little of it. He just wants one of those crosses to fall into his path, but so far he's been incredibly well marshalled by Konate and Van Dijk.
So Forest work the ball all the way back to Stefan Ortega. Only arrived earlier this month from Manchester City until the end of the season. And on the day he signed, Sales got injured, so he's starting as Callum Hudson-Odoi picks it up down the left-hand side, cuts in field. He's well pressured by Konate, so lays it off to Sangare and out to the right-hand side. Callum Hudson-Odoi will find Gibbs-White, good delivery in, it's cleared away by Virgil van Dijk on the edge of the 6-yard box, but Liverpool under real relentless pressure.
This has not been a good performance by Liverpool so far. It's the ease in which they're getting the ball wide, getting the ball far too much space, fullbacks aren't getting close. Actually, it's a wee bit messy. Now, just losing what's first before the game, that might have had a bit of an effect on Liverpool, but that doesn't matter. You still have to be able to cope with it. And now they're going to have to cope with a long throw from Ola Aina.
And here he goes, launches it into the penalty area. Plenty of red Forest shirts to aim for. It's cleared away by Liverpool. Gibbs-White trying to bring it down on the edge of the box. Nico Williams will try. And it sails high and it sails wide against his former club.
I suppose quarter of the way through the game now, if you're a Nottingham Forest fan, you're thinking, well, we've had the lion's share of this without any massive clear-cut chances apart from that one right at the start for Callum Hudson-Odoi. But you've got to take some of the, this amount of control of the game. You've got to get something out. You've got to create clear-cut chances. You probably have to score a goal because at some point Liverpool are going to have some moments.
Sangare does well to shield that ball away from Curtis Jones. And Murillo swings the ball out to the left-hand side, intercepted by Gravenberch, but Anderson's there for Forest and there's no pressure on him in the centre of the park, so he glides forward out to the left-hand side, finds Callum Hudson-Odoi down the line looking for Hutchinson, appeals for offside, not given, cleared away by McAllister, and the offside flag eventually does go up, and it's a free kick to Liverpool inside their own penalty area. Pat Nevin.
I know at half-time we're going to go back to the studio and I hope that Julian Laurent's back in there, because I know one of the things he's going to say, what are you doing with Szoboszlai down that right back position? You've got to move him at some point. He's such a fabulous player and he's so important to Liverpool, and he is absolutely wasted in that right back position. If there's anyone else you can get to play in there that can do the job, you'd rather have him there and get Szoboszlai in there controlling the game and creating chances.
And that just about sums up Liverpool's performance so far. Under no pressure whatsoever, Alisson has just hoofed the ball out of play for a Forest throw midway through the Liverpool half on the right-hand side, 0-0.
And he looks bad, but what were the options for him? There was nothing there, and the only option was to go and stump it long or try a difficult pass. do you know what, better get that pass wrong and put it out than give it to an opposition player.
Here goes Morgan Gibbs wide, easing away from McAllister and Gakpo. Stopped in his tracks by Gravenberch and then fouled by Konate. Free kick to Nottingham Forest. Central position midway through the Liverpool half. And again, it's worth remembering, Forest were away in Turkey on Thursday. Yeah. Liverpool haven't played for just over a week when they beat Brighton last Saturday in the FA Cup. If any team, and yes, we're in the early stages of the game, 25 minutes in, but if any team has the right to look a little bit jet-lagged, it would be Nottingham Forest. But they've come out with energy, they've come out with bravery, all the things that Vitor Pereira talks about in the programme, saying, for me to be proud of my team in any game, I need to see spirit, I need to see bravery on the ball, organisation of it, and a determination to fight for everything throughout the whole game. And so far, his players are living up to that.
Yeah, very sluggish from Liverpool, particularly that midfield area. We're talking about McAllister beforehand, but I have to say, you know, Gravenberch and to some degree Gakpo, they just haven't been at it again.
Here goes Elliot Anderson, digged into the area by Hudson-Odoi, cleared away by Gravenberch. Liverpool are deep though, and Forest will come again as they steer it back to Ola Aina in the centre circle, and he will scoop it all the way back to Stefan Ortega, closed down by McAllister, but has the time to pick the pass out to Nico Williams, who will steer it back to Ortega once more. More goals going in the Women's FA Cup, 5th round. Manchester City 3-0 they lead against Sheffield United now. That only 26 minutes gone in the first half, and Arsenal have doubled their advantage at home to Bristol City. Earlier today, Brighton beating West Ham in the Women's FA Cup by 2-1, and it's still goalless between Chelsea and Manchester United, and Oxford United and Charlton Athletic. Those all the scores in the Women's FA Cup 5th round, as Nottingham Forest pick it up with Igor Jesus just inside his own half. Sangare has it now and steers it back to Milenkovic. Chances at the Stadium of Light. Rob Law.
Yes, and both teams starting to find their rhythm. Sunderland with a half chance after a marauding run from Angulo down the left, but nobody in the box to capitalise. Fulham with opportunities of their own through Kevin and Sessegnon, who failed to hit the target. Regis Lebris forced into an early change as well. Mukiele has been forced off with a calf injury. He's been replaced by Herr Trauder. Sunderland 0, Fulham 0 with 27 on the clock.
And commentary continues over on Sports Extra 2. Goalless still here at the City Ground, here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, as Sangare has it in the sunshine for Nottingham Forest, just inside their own half. But it's Forest who are on top. Forest who are looking to move 5 points clear of the relegation zone, as Virgil van Dijk and Morgan Gibbs White are tussling together. Van Dijk gets the better of that, steers it back to Alisson, he plays it out to Szoboszlai on the right hand side, and Konate has it now, picks the pass up to Mo Salah, well pressured by Nico Williams. Salah falls back midway through his own half and lays it off to Konate and back to Van Dijk. But Liverpool will just be grateful to have a little spell of possession at the moment.
Yeah, the hope that Liverpool will have just now is, you know, the fans over there were so loud at the start, they've gone very, very quiet, they are concerned over there. But there is that thing where Forest have seen this movie before, haven't they? Remember the last time he was in Chelsea playing here, and they battled Chelsea, and then suddenly it just went from them, the confidence disappeared, and you got a chance. It's just one silly moment, and this might be it.
And they've given the ball away, and here goes Ekitike. Complete miscue as he tried to feed Salah, who waves his arms in frustration, as Nico Williams does well. Not only clears it, but finds Hudson-Odoi and really alleviates the pressure as Igor Jesus then plays it back to Hudson-Odoi. Konate just about gets there under a little bit of pressure from Hudson-Odoi. Doesn't get the free kick. Alisson wasn't going to wait for the whistle to blow and has done really well. Raced out there, cleared on the byline, prevented the corner. Forest throw on the far side, goalless.
That's the move again, isn't it? Hudson-Odoi puts the ball into the midfield there, then just pins back his heels and runs. Szoboszlai's not with him, he's left him, he's gone there, he's in space, drags Konate out, and that means you've got a problem. You get a centre back playing it right back and your defence is stretched. I think Konate was wanting a free kick there, the referee having none of it. He waited for it, didn't play the ball, and the referee says no, you didn't try and play the ball, so throw in and Aina.
And he launches it again, gets great distance on it towards Milenkovic at that near post. But in the end, Milenkovic can't get a decisive touch on it, and it bounces behind for a Liverpool goal kick. 0-0. Pat Nevin.
Well, the upside out for Liverpool is, for all the fact that they haven't played well, Forest have controlled the vast majority of the game. Their game plan is working very well. They have that fearlessness we're talking about their game. But it's still 0-0. And Forest have had very, very few chances. So, you know, Liverpool are they've been there, done that, seen that, haven't they, time and time again. I think they're waiting for a moment where a bit of tiredness comes into this Forest side, and then you might see a little bit more from them.
Yes, this Forest side, who, as we say, we're playing away in Turkey on Thursday. 3-0 winners at Fenerbahce in Vitor Pereira's first game in charge as that ball goes out of play for a throw to Liverpool on the far side. It's actually their biggest away win in European competition in their history, Nottingham Forest, and Fenerbahce's heaviest home defeat for 3 years. Perfect start to his tenure here.
Absolutely fantastic, and some really good play, and were absolutely worth it. Sometimes you can sneak a win away from home with some breakaway goals. That wasn't the case, but they shouldn't complain, because Newcastle fans are saying, what? We were only that's only halfway to where we played in Baku.
Here goes Ibrahim Sangare, out to the left-hand side he goes, and now Igor Jesus has it in the centre, drives some 25 yards, it's blocked away by Liverpool, and Ekitike is trying to counter. Liverpool have Van Dijk down after making that block, and in the end Anthony Taylor is going to stop play, and the Nottingham Forest fans are furious because he only stopped play as soon as Forest won the ball. So Ekitike for Liverpool, it's his own captain, he could have put the ball out, he didn't decide to. Then as soon as Ekitike loses the ball, Anthony Taylor stops play, but Anthony Taylor's going to say, look, well, if it doesn't matter what Liverpool do, if I decide that I need to stop play for a head injury, that's what I'm going to do.
There is no option, he must stop the play. It's a head injury, and he was stumped. Now it's the ball off his head, but it was smashed towards him by Igor Jesus. He's turned away his head and it's hit him in the side to the back of the head. Van Dijk's he's not acting there. He's also been hitting by once in the head so far in this game, the head clash earlier on. So there's a bit of booing going on, but to be honest, the referee is absolutely A, within his rights, and B, correct to actually do that there. We don't mess about when there's head injuries. I think Virgil's going to be okay, but he's going to have to spend another 30 seconds off the field.
Yes, he is up to his feet and he's walking towards us, and I think the key thing as well there, from our perspective, that's perfect refereeing by Anthony Taylor, because he's not unconscious, he's not knocked out. You could let it go a little bit to see if anything is made of that for Liverpool, but then as soon as there's a turnover, or as soon as 10 seconds or so has gone, you stop the play because he needs to receive treatment.
My attitude would be, just stop it. Whatever happens, just stop it. If you stop the play, if it's a head injuries, it's not because you're giving somebody else a chance or not. Head injuries are just too serious. We don't take chances with them anymore. So the only question I would say about the referee is maybe he should have stopped the play 4 or 5 seconds earlier. But got there in the end.
Well, he's come over to have a word with Arne Slot, actually. A little discussion over that decision making. Virgil van Dijk looks fine, ready to come back on after the requisite 30-second absence off the pitch, as Amari Hutchinson has it. So Liverpool very temporarily down to 10, Nottingham Forest in possession. Down the right hand side they go, it's goalless. 32 minutes have flown by here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, a half in which Nottingham Forest have been on top, as Murillo is urged to shoot from about 45 yards. I'm sure he's grateful for the encouragement, but he's not going to do so, as Igor Jesus then loses it, picked up by Ekitike, and now Salah, but again well pressured by Sangare, who's having a really good game in the heart of that Nottingham Forest midfield. Salah almost wins it back. Sangare, they will steer it forwards. Jesus laying it off to Elliot Anderson, looking for the run of Amari Hutchinson, but too much on that, goes out of play for a Liverpool throw. Let's head to Selhurst Park, Crystal Palace against Wolves, Sahel Sahi.
Yeah, 12 minutes to play in the first half, still awaiting the first goal of the afternoon between Crystal Palace and Wolves, but Wolves have come close twice, once from a corner, it was swung in and Arakadari was there 6 yards away, his header was missed, and then just from a free kick, Bellegarde made Henderson into forcing him into making a save. Crystal Palace 0, Wolves 0.
And commentary continues over on Sports Extra 3 here at the City Ground. Still goalless between Nottingham Forest and Liverpool on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. We've got full commentary of the North London derby coming up at 4:30. Tottenham against Arsenal with John Murray and Clinton Morrison. And John will be bringing us the team news from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as soon as we get it. As Ortega plays it forwards. Header by Virgil van Dijk. Finds McAllister, lovely cushioned header to Ekitike. And Now Gakpo down the left-hand side. Can Liverpool fashion a rare chance here in this first half? No, it's headed away by Elliot Anderson. Gravenberch tries to pick it up but is dispossessed, and Hudson-Odoi will play the ball out to the right-hand side. Namari Hutchinson under pressure from Milos Kerkez. And a little bit too much pressure? Yes, there was from Kerkez. Free kick to Nottingham Forest, right-hand side midway through their own half. 0-0, Pat Niven.
That wasn't a tackle, that was all in wrestling. I know you can get touch tight, but it was all over him there. But once again, you do think now and again when Liverpool get the odd chance, not chance of scoring, of chance to get over the halfway line with the ball, it wouldn't shock you, would it, if they broke away and scored? And it would feel like, daylight robbery just outside Sherwood Forest. It's honestly ridiculous, the fact that Liverpool look so sloppy and so tired. As you said earlier on, the ones that should be tired is Nottingham Forest, and they haven't looked it.
Now this is interesting. Szoboszlai has definitely moved away from right back for now. He's picked it up just outside the penalty area, plays it to the right hand side. Salah's delivery was just over the head of Gakpo, who would have had a free header and certainly would have scored had that ball not just been a little bit too high. So let's have a look at this then, because Curtis Jones has filled in for that move at right back. Let's see if this is a full-on change that Arne Slot is making here.
Well, part of the fact we've talked about it constantly and said it's not working that way, and the fact that I've not thought at any point in time you can keep this game going and keep Szoboszlai over there and waste his talents. So they've moved him in there, and that's complete. By the way, part of it's to try and stop Morgan Gibbs-White, who's actually controlling that midfield.
So yes, this does look like a relatively permanent change, because they've had time to reset if they wanted to. We have seen a couple of instances where Szoboszlai has meandered over to that left wing and they've temporarily filled in his absence. This is interesting though, because as Liverpool have the ball outside the centre circle, Jones is only playing because Wirtz was injured in the warm-up, but it was an option, of course, to start like this, and Arne Slot might wonder whether he should have done. As Ola Aina intercepts that ball just inside the Nottingham Forest penalty area. It's still goalless, 9 minutes to go until half-time. Here is Gibbs-White. Now he has, as Pat says, Szoboszlai right on him, and he eases away from him. Good challenge by Ibrahima Konate. Gravenberch then a little bit late on Anderson. Anthony Taylor is going to give the free kick for that, and Arne Slot not too happy on the edge of his technical area, but free kick to Nottingham Forest just outside the centre circle.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Nottingham Forest try and do what they were doing before. The fact that you've now got a different right full back in there. I mean, Jones isn't a natural right back either, but look at him already. We've watched him here. He's much closer. Even when the play hasn't been played, he's over there trying to get closer to his winger, not allowing him to get on the ball. But he's been beaten.
Yeah, it's just gone over his head. Commentator's curse there from Pat Nevin, but it's cleared away by Konate.
Delighted to explain that a full back is a very specialised position, and if you don't play there all the time, you just need to get yourself a yard wrong and you'll be caught out, and that's Curtis. He'll need to learn from that very quickly.
Well, the other option they have, Liverpool, is Joe Gomez on the bench, who's just recently returned from injury and of course can fill in there, as Milenkovic has it out to the right hand side. Hutchinson now plays it back to Milenkovic as Vitor Pereira watches on in his first Premier League game as Nottingham Forest manager, their fourth permanent manager of the season, which is actually a record. No side has ever had 4 permanent managers in the same Premier League season. They started this campaign dreaming of getting into Europe once again. Now they're dreaming of staying up, and they're dreaming of going ahead here as Igor Jesus is brilliantly tackled by Virgil van Dijk, almost in on goal there. That is a goal-saving challenge from Liverpool's captain as Mo Salah picks up the ball and brings it down the right-hand side. Now plays it infield to Alexis McAllister. Ola Aina on the stretch, just got something on it, and Sangare will steer it back to Stefan Ortega. There's something incidentally, the Nottingham Forest penalty area. We'll go back to that in a moment as Konate is tussling with Igor Jesus, and Jesus is deemed to have fouled Konate. You can hear what the City ground thinks of that, because if the whistle hadn't gone, then Jesus on the angle, to be fair, cutting into the penalty area from the left-hand side. He's one-on-one with Alisson.
But do you know what? Konate was that position earlier on, wasn't he? And the referee didn't give him the free kick, and then that time was against Hudson-Odoi. But he's given it this time. But it was one of those ones where, a referee doesn't always give them one. It's a little bit of a lean. It's a physical sport. You have to accept it happens now and again. And Konate's a big, strong lad. You'd expect him to be much stronger than that. Slightly going back to Van Dijk before, his game-saving tackle there. He is just such a class act. You do wonder if Liverpool, not if, when Liverpool don't have him in their back line there, they'll be a very different looking team. He is going to be a tough man to replace, and so far I think he's been easily the best player in white today for Liverpool.
Yeah, he's been brave, as he always is, putting his body on the line. A couple of blows to the head, but no worse for wear. And as Pat says, that challenge to stop Jesus in on goal. As Van Dijk at his very best, as Morgan Gibbs-White picks it up on the halfway line. It's still goalless, but Forest have been the better side. Can they find the goal that they feel they will deserve, as Hutchinson brings the ball across and it's punched over right underneath his own crossbar by Alisson. Oh, he didn't want to take the chance there that was going to creep across and nestle in the far corner. Safety first, punch behind for a Nottingham Forest corner.
Yeah, really decent play there. I think he has gone for the shot there. The near post, it probably would have gone over the crossbar. You're right, keeper can take no chances in that situation. But it's just the ease in which to get down the byline, to get into good position, to cross and to have the odd shot as well. It's really quite surprising that Liverpool are allowing this just now.
Arsenal now 3-0 up against Bristol City in the Women's FA Cup 5th round, and Nottingham Forest with the corner from this near side, taken by Hutchinson. Jesus got his head on it, but it was a little bit high for him, and the header spins out of the penalty area rather than towards goal. He's kept it alive though and steers it back to Callum Hudson-Odoi. Ola Aina will play it out to the right hand side, and Elliot Anderson now feeds Hutchinson. 0-0 here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds between Nottingham Forest and Liverpool, as Anderson picks the ball up once more, swings it in right footed. Jesus' header towards goal is poor, it's behind, and Liverpool will have a goal kick. Just going back to what was in the penalty area for Nottingham Forest, it's actually now blown out. It's a paper or plastic bag that is away from the penalty area for now, but I'm just wondering why Ortega in the Nottingham Forest goal didn't move it a bit earlier, because there was a back pass that rolled over the bag, and look, it didn't bobble much, but it's not as smooth as it would be if it was rolling on the grass. And the last thing they need is another, well, it wouldn't be a beach ball-esque incident, but a paper bag gate.
A harsh person would say it's had more touches than Mo Salah.
Here goes Igor Jesus dispossessed inside the area. Gibbs-White lets fly, blocked by Szoboszlai on the edge of the box. Lovely back heel by Gibbs-White to keep it alive for Callum Hudson-Odoi. Oh, they're playing with such panache at the moment, Nottingham Forest. Such confidence under their new manager, Vitor Pereira. Playing like a side with nothing to lose, but they've got a lot to gain here as they look to move 5 points clear of the relegation zone, as the ball is driven in by Anderson on the edge of the box. It's another Nottingham Forest corner, and Gibbs-White now screams in frustration that the chance for him 30 seconds earlier didn't yield more fruit.
It's got a real feel about it that something's coming now for Forest. They have lifted it again as they've come towards a half time, and at the moment it's basically just Konate and Van Dijk that are stopping them scoring a goal, no one else.
So Elliot Anderson with this corner for Nottingham Forest. He's got the height at the back of Murillo and Milenkovic. Jesus is there again as Anderson prepares to swing it in. It's poor, it's on the roof of the net. A penalty at Selhurst Park, Sohail Sahi.
And it's been saved. Kadari has missed for Wolves. Henderson flopping down to his left-hand side. It was a poor penalty, to be honest. Mane was fouled by Wharton inside the penalty area. Referee pointed to the spot. Kadari took responsibility and he fluffed his lines. Crystal Palace 0, Wolves 0.
And a big chance of the Stadium of Light. Rob Law.
Yes, first shot on target goes the way of Sunderland's Noah Siddiqui, 20 yards out. He really had some venom behind it, but a simple take in the end for Bird Leno in the Fulham goal. Both sides in need of some inspiration. Sunderland 0, Fulham 0 with 43 minutes on the clock.
Well, Liverpool definitely in need of some inspiration here, because it is Nottingham Forest who look inspired as Vitor Pereira waits on the edge of his technical area, watching on as Milenkovic. Well, he's played the ball back to Ortega and he's now trodden on the plastic bag, which has now disappeared. Where's it gone?
It's stuck to the back of his left heel.
Well, I think he can deal with it better than the yellow ball, to be honest. So that's probably a positive for Nottingham Forest, as Murray Hutchinson is dispossessed, and here goes Milos Kerkez into Ekitike, loose touch, and Amari Hutchinson with a swipe will win back possession, and here's Gibbs-White orchestrating everything for Nottingham Forest, finds Callum Hudson-Odoi, bearing down on the Liverpool penalty area, 30 yards out, lays it off to Anderson, left hand side, it's goalless still, but Forest by far the better side. As Anderson lays it off to Callum Hudson-Odoi. Now Murray Hutchinson crowded out of it by white shirts in the sunshine, and now Liverpool might be able to break, but McAllister's lost it. Curtis Jones will win it back. He's dispossessed by Elliot Anderson. At the moment, Forest just wants it more. It's as simple as that in those sort of challenges. As Gibbs White, lovely back heel by Hutchinson. Now to Hudson-Odoi. Shot driven in, just over the bar as Alisson was stretching from Elliot Anderson. I'll tell you what, if that had ended up in the top corner, that would have been one of Forest's goals of the season.
Definitely goal a month contender for all the teams here as well, but they've played so well. They've won every second ball. I mean, you need to look at basics a lot of the time as well. There's about 4 or 5 tackles in that midfield area there. Liverpool most of the time looked favourite to win. They didn't win any of them. Red shirt came out with the ball. What is also noticeable, I mean, there are all sorts of problems just now for Liverpool that Arne Slot has to look at. One of them is when they lose the ball slightly further up the field and Forest breaking them, McAllister's not getting back, Gakpo's not getting back, Gravenberch's not getting back at anywhere near the pace you need to at this level. That's what's leading to those chances and those good positions that Forest are getting into. There is a huge amount of work to be done at half-time by Arne Slot.
Yeah, it's been a really poor performance from Liverpool so far. As we enter 3 minutes of added time, as it's a poor ball forward by Forest straight into the arms of Alisson. But this is an opportunity for Liverpool to move level on points with Manchester United and Chelsea. And they are not taking it in terms of performance, in terms of possession, in terms of chances. That I suppose the only frustrating thing for Forest will be that they haven't seriously tested Alisson more, but they've certainly had more of the opportunities. But what can Liverpool do here? What can this man do here? Mo Salah plays it back to Curtis Jones, who is sticking at right back, as Salah picks it up once more, right hand side, lays it off to Jones once more, infield to Salah, back to Jones. No way through at the moment for Liverpool, as the two of them continue to work it between them down the right hand side. Good interception by Nico Williams, and then challenges Salah. He's not going to get the free kick, but he has lost possession, Nico Williams, and Curtis Jones will pick it up, and Salah up to his feet, has it once more on the right hand side. This is the longest sustained spell of Liverpool possession and pressure that we've seen for a very long time in this first half, as Salah has it once more, plays it forward. That's a lovely ball to Gravenberch, but Murillo read it really well, eases the ball out of the penalty area and should be able to clear his lines, trying to pick the pass, and does so to Callum Hudson-Odoi, still midway inside the Forest half, but bit of space for Gibbs White. He's then closed down by Ekitike, and Gakpo will pick it up. Anderson's there to block it away. Gravenberch has it now for Liverpool, and Salah picks it up on the right hand side, back in field to Gravenberch as Liverpool suddenly come forward. It's Gravenberch still going, ran into Gibbs White on the edge of the box. Murillo should be able to clear under pressure from Gakpo, and again they pick their pass. They're being brave, that's what Vitor Pereira wants. It's not just hoofing it over the halfway line, it's trying to spring the counter, as Callum Hudson-Odoi has it in the sunshine over on the far side. In the dying stages of this first half, we're into the final minute of added time, and it's still goalless between Nottingham Forest and Liverpool, as the Murray Hutchinson picks it up on the far side. Little lackadaisical from Hudson-Odoi, but Anderson will get it. Just took his eye off it for a moment, but did retrieve possession. Now Nico Williams has it. The white shirts of Liverpool are back in their block defending, as Hutchinson picks it up for Forest, 25 yards out, laid off to Gibbs White, and now Milenkovic 30 yards out. He's going to have a go here, Nikola Milenkovic. It's over the bar, but again applause ripples around the City ground. They have not seen a Premier League victory here in over 2 months. You have to go back to the 14th of December, 3-0 against Tottenham for their last win in the Premier League. But this is so different to what they were enduring in the latter stages under Sean Dyche.
Yeah, the other side of it is, they've not scored a lot of goals, as you say, but they've not lost a lot of goals here at certainly since the turn of the year. They've got good performances, as I say, not brilliant, not beautiful to watch, but hard to beat, and picking up the odd point here and there. But this is something a little bit better than that.
And the City ground, as a man, woman and child, if you're of a Nottingham Forest persuasion, rises to applaud their players off the pitch. They've been excellent in this first half. Nottingham Forest, Liverpool have been pretty dreadful. Pat Niven.
Yeah, well, the statistics give it away, don't they? 12 shots to 2, and it feels that just now. Control of the game, control of the ball, a lot more desire in the midfield, in all sorts of areas for Nottingham Forest just now. They're actually been a real pleasure to watch. Problem is, that final ball, you need to beat brilliant defenders, particularly Van Dijk. Van Dijk on 2 occasions has totally and completely saved Liverpool, because once he just picked the pocket when he was going through his Guzgueti's gone through, but there was one before that as well where he was 1 against 2 and he just killed the move by his intelligence. Without Van Dijk in that team this afternoon, you would be very worried about Liverpool. They have got to improve in the second half.
But a very pleasing first period in his first Premier League game as Nottingham Forest manager for Vitor Pereira. Half-time at the City Ground. It's goalless between Nottingham Forest and Liverpool.
And it would be a point if they got it, which would take Forest 3 points clear of the relegation zone. 3 games, 3 commentaries, no goals so far, including at Selhurst. Sahel Sahi.
Yeah, half-time here, Steve. Crystal Palace 0, Wolves 0. It's been a strange half. Chances for both teams, but large periods of absolutely nothing. First, a penalty miss. 2 minutes to play in the first half. Mane was fouled by Wharton. Referee pointed to the spot. Araka Dare took responsibility. It was a poor penalty. Low to Henderson's left-hand side, but no power behind the effort. He had an easier effort from a header. It was from a corner, 6 yards out. Arakadare once again missed. Valgaard had a free kick. Henderson saved. Then Crystal Palace had a couple of opportunities, both from Yeremy Pino. First, he picked up a poor back pass, lobbed the goalkeeper from 35 yards out, ended up onto the roof of the net. Then he hit the post from a short corner. And Will Hughes as well, Steve, he's lucky to be on the pitch. He picked up a yellow card, possibly should have been a second yellow for him as well. But half-time here, Crystal Palace 0, Wolves 0.
Still playing in the first half at Sunderland, Rob Law. Yeah, we've got 7 minutes of stoppage time, Steve, which tells you everything there is to know about this game. I'm struggling to remember the last time I've seen a game with so many injuries in one half of football. The game has really struggled to get going as a result. Kevin, the latest casualty, which is a shame because he's been a real bright spark in this match so far. Oscar Bob has come on to replace him for Fulham, but so far Sunderland 0, Fulham 0 with just 1 shot on target to this point. In the Women's FA Cup 5th round, Brighton have already gone through. They beat West Ham by 2-1. In stoppage time, Arsenal 3, Bristol City 0. Half-time, Manchester City 3, Sheffield United 0 and Oxford United 0. Charlton 0. What about Chelsea, Manchester United? Emily Kilner.
Well, we're still awaiting the first goal in this rematch of last year's FA Cup final. There was one change for Chelsea at the break as Sandy Baltimore replaced Johanna Richting-Carnareid. The home side have controlled the pace once again. A shot from Alicia Thompson went straight into the goalkeeper. Manchester United have just hit the post, but at 65 minutes gone, it's 0-0.
Thank you, Lisa. Here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, the Arsenal players are just arriving away to our left-hand side. I've just seen Martin Ødegaard giving a wave and a thumbs up to somebody in their blue tracksuit tops and red shirts. They're just making their way in front of the Tottenham fans, actually, who are giving them a warm early welcome, let's say. Full commentary from here at 4:30. More build-up to come from here, and then we'll be back for our second half commentaries at Selhurst, the Stadium of Light and the City Ground on 5 Live. All after the news with Lisa McCormick.
The voice of the UK. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Steve. US Secret Service agents have shot dead a man in his 20s who entered the grounds of President Trump's Florida home. The president was in Washington at the time. Rick Bradshaw is the sheriff of Palm Beach County. He says the man was carrying a fuel can and a shotgun.
He put down the gas can, raised the shotgun to a shooting position. At that point in time, the deputy and the 2 Secret Service agents fired their weapons and neutralized the threat.
Emails released by the US Justice Department suggest Met police officers provided security for a dinner party at Jeffrey Epstein's New York home in 2010. They were accompanying the then Prince Andrew. The Metropolitan Police says it hasn't identified any wrongdoing. The Education Secretary, Bridget Phillipson, says she'll keep looking at the student loan system but has stopped short of committing to an overhaul. It's after the Conservatives pledged to cut the rate of interest charge on loans taken out in England and Wales between 2012 and 2023. There have been concerns over the repayment costs. Our political correspondent is Nick Ardley.
I do think the pressure on the government on this is going to grow and grow and grow, not least because the opposition now have a costed plan to say this is a way that you can bring these interest rates down and make them more manageable for people who have that student debt. Whether the government decides to follow suit, they don't seem to be in that place just yet. But as I say, I don't think this one's going to go away.
Russia's again targeted Ukrainian energy and rail infrastructure in its latest missile and drone attack. Emergency power cuts are in place and teams are working to restore electricity. 1 man was killed and 4 children injured in the Kyiv region. A man in his 40s has died after he was stabbed in southwest London. Police were called to the scene in Wimbledon in the early hours of this morning. A man in his 30s has been held on suspicion of murder. And the BAFTAs take place tonight in London. The Leonardo DiCaprio thriller One Battle After Another leads the way with 14 nominations, and it's closely followed by the vampire movie Sinners, which has 13 nominations.
The stories we tell.
About the people we know.
And the places we love.
Are not just made here.
They're stories made of here.
The British Isles are globally important for nature.
Yeah, we might find that kid who's got the raw talent, who's in a back street in Preston somewhere. That'd be amazing.
The thing is...
We're moving back to Barry.
What? Made of Belfast.
Liverpool, Cornwall, Glasgow,
Newcastle.
Cardiff.
Made of here.
Because this is our BBC.
This is 5 Live Premier League Sunday
with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
It's goalless in all of our 2 o'clock Premier League commentaries. Palace, Wolves, Forest, Liverpool and Sunderland, Fulham. On Sports Extra right now, full commentary of India, South Africa at the Men's T20 World Cup. Henry Moran.
Big hit down the ground from Tristan Stubbs brings 6 runs to take South Africa beyond 150. 151 for 4 in the 16th over. This represents a really decent total. David Miller has provided the firepower. 63 from 34 unbeaten, and South Africa were 20 for 3 early on in their innings, but they've got a big total. The tournament favourites up against each other in front of north of 100,000. South Africa 151 for 4 in the 16th.
Earlier today, an excellent performance from England's bowlers helped them to a 51-run win over Sri Lanka at the start of the Super 8s. England got 146 for 9, so definitely not as many as they would have wanted, but then bowlers really taking advantage, bowling Sri Lanka, who played poorly, out for just 95. In the Six Nations unbeaten, France take on Italy at 3:10. More on that in a second, but the half-time whistle's just gone in the Premier League at the Stadium of Light. Rob Law. Sunderland 0, Fulham 0. The game has fallen victim to a whole host of injuries littered throughout this first half. Both teams forced into changes before the break. More stoppages than shots on target at this point. Sunderland 0, Fulham 0 at the break. So France-Italy 3:10. Full commentary on the BBC Sports website. You will get second half commentary with us on Sports Extra 2, and James Burridge will be watching.
And France, Steve, look runaway favourites, hunting their 11th Grand Slam title. 13 tries from 2 games, a merciless pack, a scintillating back line. They have, though, been forced to make late changes. Their star fly half, Matthias Jalibert, is out with a calf injury, so Thomas Ramos moves to 10, Atis Sogbe to fullback, and there's a debut for the Toulon flyer, Gaël Dréon. Italy have their own speedster, Ange Capuozzo, returning at fullback. The Azzurri have been left to stew on what might have been against Ireland last week. Wasted opportunities, a disallowed try, but their physicality continues to impress, particularly in the scrum. Now, 2 years ago, they had a kick to win it in Lille. It ended in a controversial draw. You don't feel France will offer them a better chance, but this Six Nations has been wonderfully unpredictable.
At the Winter Olympics, Zoe Atkin won bronze in the half-pipe. That takes Great Britain's final medal haul to 5. Sweden have just won gold in the women's curling, by the way, beating Switzerland. That's their 4th gold in the past 6 games in the women's curling. In the men's ice hockey final, it's currently 1-1 between Canada and the USA. Fascinating tussle at the top in Scotland, isn't it? Hearts lead the way on 60 points from 28 games. Rangers 55 from 27. Celtic 54 from 26. They both play this afternoon. Celtic Hibs about to get underway. Kenny Crawford's at Celtic Park.
Yeah, Steve, one of the big questions coming into this game was whether Martin O'Neill would keep his faith in goalkeeper Kasper Schmeichel despite a shaky showing in the defeat to Stuttgart on Thursday night. The answer is he does, and the 39-year-old Dane is between the sticks. Elsewhere, making his first start for the hosts is Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, who's already scored a late match winner for Celtic coming off the bench. The 32-year-old replaces Paulo Bernardo, while Yunjin Yang is preferred instead of Daisen Maeda. As for Hibs, they're 5th, 8 points behind 4th place Motherwell. Edinburgh side restore captain Martin Boyle to the starting 11 at the expense of Spurs loanee Dane Scarlett.
Rangers had that fantastic win, of course, against Hearts last week. This afternoon, they have got rock bottom Livingston on the road. Martin Dowden.
Yes, bottom B, second top in the Scottish Premiership, with Rangers looking to close back to 2 points of Hearts with a win, just 1 loss in 19 league games under Danny Rule. 2 changes for them, with captain James Tavernier and Jeddy Gassama starting, and with their next fixture, Celtic at Ibrox, the importance of this seems magnified. Livingston pushed Celtic all the way in Glasgow a couple of weeks ago, only an injury time winner denying them a point. They badly need some, 9 points adrift in bottom place, 25 games without a win, but Rangers haven't found it at all easy against them this season. Kick-off just coming up.
And today's other story so far finished Sheffield United 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1 in the Steel City derby. Both teams ended the match with 10 players, but of course the most pertinent piece of information is that Sheffield Wednesday, after their miserable season on and off the pitch, have been relegated. Here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, the North London derby on the way in full at 4:30 with Clinton Morrison and correspondent John Murray. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Steve. And even though you're here, I've barely seen you today, because I think this is the busiest I have ever seen the media room at this stadium, and I think that tells you everything you need to know about this match.
You're assuming I wasn't avoiding you?
Well, I would like to think you wouldn't.
Absolutely. Clinton, this is something special today, isn't it? Loads going on.
It must be special because you're here, and you're making it cramped for me. I usually got loads of room here, and you're here, so it is special. And I haven't seen you, but you didn't want to come and say hello to me in the media room, did you?
No, well, I don't want people to know that we're friends.
I thought that was the problem.
Still that, isn't it? I mean, look, a new Tottenham manager, first game in charge, always a big story, John. Then you add the context of it being the derby and Arsenal in the title race. This has got to be the biggest iteration of this fixture for a long time.
I know we've said this a lot this season, but this is one of the biggest games of the season so far, and I just feel that this has got a bit of everything. And when I was writing down who's likely to be involved today, when you do that, on paper, Arsenal should win this because of the players they've got available, and also probably a large part of that is who will be on the bench for Arsenal and who won't be on the bench for Tottenham today. However, it is the derby match and there is a new man at the helm for Tottenham, and I think that makes it fascinating as well, because that is a massive unknown. How Tottenham will respond, what has he been able to do? He's had a little bit of time, and how the match begins. Do Arsenal try and impose themselves? Do they want to have a look and see what Tottenham are going to do? So many questions.
Julian are on with us all afternoon as well. You were telling us earlier all about Igor Tudor. Do you think he'll want Tottenham to, what's the word that you just used, John? Not exert themselves.
Impose themselves.
Thank you, that's the word.
Well, if you look at what Igor Tudor has done before in his career, we talked about the back three earlier and being very dogmatic, but there are times where they've been very much on the front foot, his teams, man-to-man marking everywhere on the pitch, so really going for the high press and the counter-pressing, being very aggressive when you don't have the ball. I don't know if he can afford to do this today in a game of this caliber for his first game and his debut, because if that doesn't go well, then they could lose 3 or 4-0 here, and that would be an embarrassing start in a way. So he might be a little bit more cautious than what he's usually doing as a manager, as a head coach. But for everybody listening, this is part of him as well, that super high intensity mentality and philosophy, as well as we said, a very structured and dogmatic back three.
He says in his column in the programme today, the match programme, I want us to be aggressive and offensive and to score goals and to be organised, structured and disciplined in defence.
And
so that's it.
That's my wish list. Yeah,
that's the lot.
That's how you win everything all the time. And that, Clinton, I think is fascinating, because if you're a Tottenham fan, you don't accept your team being passive against Arsenal. You don't accept your team being passive at home against anybody. But as Jules was saying, sort of there be dragons as well. If you really go for it, you're setting yourself up against an incredibly good team.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. Listen, me and John and Jules was there, I remember, at the Emirates. You were there, Crossy, weren't you? At the Emirates. We were all there. How embarrassing was Tottenham that day? It looked like they set up to get free kicks on the halfway line. Vicario come up and take it and try and get it into the box and try and get the seconds or the first contact. It was embarrassing, and that's why they got heavily defeated in that game. I think it'll be different today, Igor Tudor. I would have liked to have seen him with all their players fit and available, I think, but I can only see one outcome today, and that's an Arsenal win. But stranger things have happened. But I do think they will get a bounce with this guy. He takes no prisoners, and I know what he was like as a player, as a centre half. No nonsense, and I think he needs to go in there and shake it up. You can't keep complaining about the managers. This group of players are not delivering at the moment, Crossy.
Right, much more from Clinton, John and Jules to come after 4 o'clock. We're ready from some second half. Stadium of Light for Sunderland, Fulham, Sports Extra 2. Palace Wolves on Sports Extra 3. Here on 5 Live, Forest Liverpool, no goals anywhere, but time to change that. Pat Nevins with Vicky Sparks.
We'll do our best, Steve. Nottingham Forest preparing to get us underway. No changes for either side in a game that Forest have been much the better side. They've got the chance to go 5 points clear of the relegation zone this afternoon if they are able to do a league double over Liverpool for the first time since the early 60s, having won 3-0 at Anfield earlier this season. Liverpool have the chance to go level on points with Chelsea and Manchester United in the race for the Champions League. But as Forest win possession midway through the Liverpool half, it's Liverpool, Pat Nevin, who really need to step it up in terms of their performance levels.
In every single area, apart from maybe Van Dijk, who's been exceptional as usual. And thank goodness for that, for Liverpool fans.
Ball into the area, finds Callum Hudson-Odoi, but he can't latch onto it. And it goes behind for a Liverpool goal kick.
See, I think one of the things that Liverpool do, very noticeable, is a couple of players having a vigorous warm-up. Kieran Morrison was warming up, as was Chiesa at half-time. And it's the kind of warm-up where you only do that kind of warm-up when the manager said to you, if they don't change it in 10 minutes, you're on, mate.
Well, they're trying to change it here. It's a great run through the centre by Ibrahima Konate. Finds Salah on the right-hand side. Swings the delivery in. Gakpo shielding his eyes. Doesn't win the header, but Milenkovic does. And it goes behind for a Liverpool corner. Goal in the Women's FA Cup. Chelsea against Manchester United. Emily Kilner.
And Chelsea have eventually taken the lead. Sam Kerr, who scored 2 in Chelsea's 4th round victory. She came on today on her 150th Chelsea appearance. Scored from close range on the volley after 79 minutes. It's Chelsea 1, Manchester United 0.
So Liverpool corner from the far side. Dominic Szoboszlai is over this. Likes of Konate and Ekitike up from the back as it swung to the near post and headed away. Ekitike was in there, but it was a Nottingham Forest touch that took it behind, and it will be another Liverpool corner over from that far side. 0-0.
Yeah, vicious one, wasn't it? Really hard one to deal with. This is it looks almost as if the most dangerous place that Liverpool are playing just now, particularly they've got Konate and that man Van Dijk attacking it.
So Szoboszlai with the second bite of the cherry in quick succession, over to take the corner. Once again, it's a crowded 6-yard box, and that's where he swings it. It's Murillo this time who wins the header. Gibbs White clears it away from goal. Ekitike will pick it up left hand side of the penalty area, back to Szoboszlai. Sends the ball into the area, headed away by Nico Williams. Curtis Jones is underneath it, back towards the edge of the D. Sangare's there for Nottingham Forest, chested up and then down by Morgan Gibbs White. Lovely control and brings it over the halfway line. Now he's got a Murray Hutchinson ahead of him, and that's a great ball from Gibbs White. Hudson-Odoi in the centre, very good sliding block by Milos Kerkez, and it's Forest's turn to have a corner at the other end.
Great tackling there by Kerkez. He's come all the way over from the left back position, saw where the danger was. Again, Liverpool caught out in that right back area, getting beyond them time and time again. But Kerkez came all the way over and made a great tackle. And we actually spotted some before the game, didn't we, Vicky? You and I. The corner kicks against routines that they're working on. They don't often do that. But Forest were doing that, knowing that Liverpool are very dangerous from those situations. We've had very few corner kicks, Liverpool, though.
And it's Nottingham Forest who've got one here. It's Anderson who swings it in. It's headed away by Ekitike inside the 6-yard box. Collected now by Callum Hudson-Odoi. And Anderson will bring it forward for Forest down this left-hand side, up against Szoboszlai. Pulls it back to Hudson-Odoi. Still plenty in there to aim for. The height still up from the back for Forest. The likes of Milenkovic wait in the penalty area as Anderson still out on this left-hand side. And now Callum Hudson-Odoi will deliver it in. And it was Milenkovic in there. And he heads it just wide. What a big chance for the centre-half. And another chance for Forest to take the lead here.
Well, he's done well. He got on the end of it. But, I mean, his stats are awful for Liverpool just now. The amount of crosses that Nottingham Forest have got in this game has been incredible. And that's one of the few times he's actually got in front of the marker, and that was Milenkovic. I see, apart from, again, the Hudson-Odoi chance at the start of the game, that's their best chance.
Here goes Szoboszlai chasing this ball down the right-hand side. Really great pace from Murillo. Gets there ahead of him and steers it back to Stefan Ortega, who is in goal for Nottingham Forest as Milenkovic makes a real hash of that clearance in the D, and it's fallen straight to Salah. Milenkovic gets a block on the pass and it spins behind Szoboszlai and to Elliot Anderson. And I can risk taking you through the rest of the Forest lineup. So Ortega in goal, the back four of Aina, Milenkovic, Murillo and Williams. Ahead of them Anderson and Sangare, with Hutchinson, Gibbs-White and Hudson-Odoi supporting Igor Jesus up front. Igor Jesus, who got a little bit of history on Thursday for Forest. His 7th goal in the Europa League this season when he scored against Fenerbahce. That broke Gary Birtle's club record of 6 European goals in a single season for Nottingham Forest, those coming in their European Cup winning season back in 1979. He's got 12 for the season, Igor Jesus. He is their top scorer, but just 2 in the Premier League.
Yeah, it's tough to score goals anywhere, but we do find that out, that the Premier League, the hard place to score. Even Anthony Gordon's got great numbers this season. That's a hell of a lot in the Cups.
And that pretty much sums up Tottenham Hotspur's whole season, European versus domestic. They are in action in the North London derby against Arsenal. Can Arsenal recover from that agonising latest twist in the title race as they drop points at Wolves in midweek? We will have full commentary for you here on 5 Live, 4:30 with John Murray and Clinton Morrison, as Liverpool in possession will bring the ball forward down this right-hand side with Curtis Jones. We'll be heading for an update from the Women's FA Cup shortly, but Liverpool just building something here as Szoboszlai switches play over to the left-hand side. Lovely ball to find Cody Gakpo up against Amari Hutchinson. Cuts in field now, Gakpo, and lays it off to Ryan Gravenberch. This is better from Liverpool. It's been a very disappointing performance from Arne Slot's men so far, and he stands on the corner of his technical area with the hands in the pockets of his dark trousers as Liverpool pass it around, and Virgil van Dijk sweeps it out to the left-hand side, and Kerkez, who plays it back to Van Dijk. So let's head to the Women's FA Cup. Emily Kilner.
Well, moments after Chelsea's goal, Manchester United have equalised. It was a set-piece ball in from the captain, Letitia, and then the substitute, Simi Awujo, got the final touch. A right-footed shot from the right side of the 6-yard box. 84 minutes gone, Chelsea 1, Manchester United 1.
Here's Szoboszlai, brilliant ball to Curtis Jones inside the area. It's blocked away by Murillo and hacked clear by Nico Williams. Over the halfway line it goes. Alisson will collect, but this is much better from Liverpool, Pat Neville.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't be any worse, actually. They had so few chances and so few times they spent any time at all in the opposition half. But start the second half, much better from Liverpool. Pushed it up a little bit further, from that back line. But the midfielders, I think they've got a little bit of a rocket from Arne Slot. They're getting the tackles in a little bit better now. They're being much more involved in the game. And without being brilliant yet, they are clawing their way back into this tie to some degree.
They do have a poor record here at the City Ground. They've won on just one of their last 15 league visits here. But it was the manner of the performance in the first half that, as Pat says, was so disappointing from a Liverpool perspective. And I'm sure you're right, Pat, that Arne Slot had some strong words to say at half-time as Ola Aina concedes the free kick over on the far side. Gakpo going down, and Liverpool have a set piece third of the way inside the Nottingham Forest half on the left-hand side, and they pull it back to Virgil van Dijk as Vitor Pereira comes to the edge of his own technical area and waves his Nottingham Forest players forward. Ahead of this game, he spoke about the need to create identity, and that identity, he says, must be what we like and believe. We need to play with organisation that allows players to express themselves, and they've got to be organised defensively here, and they are. Murillo, who's had a very good game so far, he hasn't done much to do, given that Liverpool have barely got anywhere near the Nottingham Forest penalty area, but when he has been under pressure, he's read the situation well, and he did there, clearing the ball out of play for a Liverpool throw.
Yeah, first real bit of explosive movement from Mo Salah. I mean, it's been limited, but in that occasion now, a little bit of 1-2, gets away from the fullback Williams, but as you say, Murillo spots it, and just disappointed he didn't get a tackle, because he loves tackling.
Here goes Cody Gakpo on the edge of the penalty area, swings the ball in, Salah's at the far post, heads the ball back across, and it's just about blocked on the line as Curtis Jones was coming in and scrambled away to safety. Point blank range chance for Liverpool, and they can't force the ball home through Curtis Jones. Best chance of the game for them so far. The ball's back with Alisson. It's still 0-0, 53 minutes played.
Well, they see Liverpool turned up, the Liverpool that everybody knows, They're actually going to attack a little bit. Salah's wakened up a little bit. The midfielders are a little bit sharper to the ball, and that's a couple of really dangerous positions they've got themselves into. And as we speak just now, the last 5-6 minutes, Forest are basically having another kick. They've not got out of their own half. This is the way I thought the game would go at the start. Well, it has turned. It has definitely turned.
Yes, this is more reflective of a side who are chasing Champions League places against a side who are battling to stay in the Premier League. A Salah lovely ball through the legs of Nico Williams to Ekitike. It's pursued by Nico Williams, so Ekitike will use the pause line. Now Salah's in space, found well, right hand side of the penalty area, pulls the ball across, it's cleared away on the edge of the 6-yard box by Milenkovic, and all of a sudden it's Liverpool on top as Forest try and counter. The ball bounces off the pause line, goes out of play for a Nottingham Forest throw. Goal in the Scottish Premiership, Livingston against Rangers, Martin Dowden.
And it is a goal for Livingston. It was a set piece, floated into the box, it found Brooklyn Kabongolo and he powered a header home. Livingston 1, Rangers 0.
Thank you very much, Martin, here at the City Grounds. 10 minutes gone in this second half. It is still goalless between Nottingham Forest and Liverpool, and that's a little short back from Kirkes, and Alisson has done quite beautifully there. Just came to the edge of his penalty area, and rather than trying to clear it long past Amari Hutchinson, he just slid the ball out to his left. Very calm and composed, collected by Kirkes, who now sprays it out to the right hand side, looking for Salah again. It's cleared away by Nottingham Forest, picked up by Szoboszlai, challenged by Elliot Anderson. But now, in a contrast to the first half, it's Forest who can't make the ball stick.
Yeah, they can't hold it at all, and you just look at Liverpool, you wonder what was wrong in that first half. I mean, they weren't toying with the opposition, it wasn't that at all. They were being toyed with themselves, and they look tired. I mean, and yeah, maybe the big thing is a lot of these Liverpool players they've just had to play every game, haven't they? You know, they've got very, very little on the bench. They can make a massive difference. I've got great experience. So, you know, yeah, that tiredness was showing, but sometimes just a few words from the manager make a little bit of difference, and you would expect that. And you look at it now, and whereas you thought Liverpool were going to have to make some changes, now you think, actually, Forest, you might have to go and adapt it a little bit now, because you actually have very few involvements in the game in the second half.
Virgil van Dijk steers it back to Alisson. That plastic bag's back. It must have fallen off Milenkovic's boot when he trod on it in the first half, and it's blowing towards the penalty area again. Away to our left as Liverpool in possession in the pale gold shirts, the black shorts and the pale gold socks, against Nottingham Forest in the red shirts, the white shorts and the red socks. And it's Liverpool coming forward once more, cleared away by Forest, and Anderson will stab it forward looking for Igor Jesus, who's had very little to work with, particularly in the second half. But in the game overall, would have wanted a few more opportunities as Mo Salah plays the ball down the right hand side. Here's Curtis Jones, was still goalless. 57 minutes gone as Curtis Jones picks it up again, right hand side of the penalty area, pulls it back to Mo Salah. Salah now driving, lovely clever ball through to Ekitike, excellently read by Nico Williams, sliding challenge, makes the interception. Elliot Anderson goes down, advantage played, it's a good one by Anthony Taylor. Callum Hudson-Odoi on the halfway line, he's got Jesus out to the left hand side and uses him now as Konate steps up. Jesus will steer it back to Elliot Anderson. Let's head to the Stadium of Light. Rob Law.
And Vicky, I was just about to tell you how Romain Mundle had missed a clear-cut chance for Sunderland, and that he did, but Fulham have gone up the other end, won a corner, and Raul Jimenez has guided his header down into the turf and past Robin Roos in the Sunderland goal. It's Sunderland 0, it's Fulham 1 with 54 minutes on the clock.
And commentary continues over on Sports Extra 2 as Liverpool come forward. Shouts for handball from some Forest fans around us against McAllister. Not given, but Sangare has won that ball well for Forest. Needs to get rid of it, he's under pressure from Gakpo. McAllister had it played into him. He thinks he might have kept it in, but the assistant actually has flagged for offside on this near side as he tried to shovel that ball back forward to Gakpo, and it's a free kick to Nottingham Forest to Selhurst Park. Sohail Sahi.
Yeah, still 0-0 here, Vicky. Crystal Palace and Wolves, but a half chance for the home side. It was a long throw, headed away by the Wolves defence. It fell to Tyreek Mitchell, left-footed volley straight at the Wolves goalkeeper Jose Sarr. Crystal Palace 0, Wolves 0.
And to Celtic against Hibs, Kenny Crawford.
18 minutes gone, still Celtic 0, Hibs 0. The best chance of the match falling to the boot of Benjamin Nygren, the Swede for Celtics, flashing a shot just wide of the post. Celtic 0, Hibs 0.
And you're up to date here on 5 Live on this Sunday afternoon as Salah plays the ball in field. It's behind Ekitike. Ola Aina then playing it to feet. Gibbs White will tumble, but advantage again, well played by referee Anthony Taylor, and Aina picks it up down the right hand side. Gibbs White is up to his feet and wants the ball, but Aina uses Amari Hutchinson instead. So full of possession for Forest, 0-0.
Do you know, Vicky, the fearlessness we were talking about earlier on, and go and take the chance, you know, go forward, don't think about it too much. It's not happening in the second half there. Aina, brilliant at overlapping, decided not to go there, and that's not what makes Forest good at the moment. You know, take those chances, ask big questions. You know, they're against a team that looked tired in the first half. Well, find out if you're tired again in the second half. So far they've not done that, and there seems a bit of uncertainty. But, you know, no surprise really, because Liverpool have started better in the second half. But in reality, what they really need to do is get themselves back in, foothold in the game, and believe in themselves. Maybe a long throw from Ola Aina may have helped.
Well, that is exactly the opportunity that they have in front of us, away to our left from our commentary position. Aina has got a big red towel over on the other side, but he doesn't need it here. Has that yellow ball in his hands, he takes it short. So not the long throw that Pat and I were expecting, and I think Liverpool were expecting as well, and that perhaps is the point. Here's Elliot Anderson, midway through the Liverpool half, central position, lays it off to Nico Williams, swings the ball into the penalty area, headed away by Curtis Jones. Let's get the team news for the North London derby. John Murray.
Well, both Tottenham and Arsenal make 2 changes from their previous matches. Igor Tudor is going with Randall Kolo Muani. Solanke is only on the bench, and Polina comes in, so it looks like 3 central defenders, with Audebert, of course, absent, injured. Richarlison is back as a substitute. And for Arsenal, interesting, Eza starts, having scored a hat-trick against Tottenham in November. Trossard also back in the team, so Madueke and Martinelli are on the bench. Odegaard is also among the subs, but there's no return for Kai Havertz just yet.
Thanks, John. Full commentary with John and Clinton Morrison coming up at 4:30. So, we've just seen the most blatant pullback from Ola Aina to stop Ekitike breaking over the halfway line. He's gone into the book. It was almost like a challenge from gladiators there, wasn't it?
To be honest, I think that's the longest shirt tug that I have ever seen. It lasted about 40 yards. It just kept pulling him, and just thought, please book me, please stop, I'm not going to let you go.
It was that long, he could have got a yellow card at the start and a yellow card at the end. So Bosley sends the free kick into the area. It's headed wide by Alexis McAllister. Remains 0-0 here, but a red card at Selhurst Park. Sohail Sahi.
Yeah, and still 0-0 here too, Vicky. Crystal Palace 0, Wolves 0, but Krejci has been sent off for Wolves. 2 yellow cards in the space of 4 minutes. The first one was a regulation foul. Referee showed him a yellow card. Second one, he delayed the taking of a quick throw in for Crystal Palace. Then he kicked the ball away. Referee showed him a second yellow card. Wolves down to 10 men. Crystal Palace 0, Wolves 0.
Still goalless here between Nottingham Forest and Liverpool as Forest win possession just inside their own half. So Bosley wanted a free kick, he's not going to get it, and here goes Callum Hudson-Odoi down the left hand side, skipping past Curtis Jones. Konate comes out to close the angle. Anderson had made the run. Hudson-Odoi then goes down. No foul, says referee Anthony Taylor, and so Bosley wins the throw off Murillo. Let's head to the Women's FA Cup 5th round. They're heading for extra time between Chelsea and Manchester United. Emily Kilner.
They are. It was Chelsea 1, Manchester United 1. Chelsea did dominate the first half, but Manchester United came out with real confidence in the second. It was an even game as expected. It's Chelsea's Sam Kerr, and her 150th appearance scored, but just 2 minutes later, Simi Awujo equalised. Both sides pushed for the winner, but after 90 minutes, it's 1-1. We now head to extra time.
Thank you very much, Emily. Outside the penalty area, Liverpool have possession. They're giving it away, though, and here is Sangare. Plays it out to the right-hand side. It's a good ball to find Amari Hutchinson up against Milos Kerkez. Hutchinson cuts into the penalty area, goes one way, then the other. Needs an option here because the angle's narrowed, so he lays it off to Ola Aina, who whips the ball across, and it lands on the roof of the net, and it's a goal kick to Liverpool. So, just to confirm as well, a little bit of housekeeping from the first half that we didn't mention. Morgan Gibbs-White actually got booked in the first half for delaying the restart of a free kick, so he's on a yellow for Forest, and Ola Aina as well, who has just picked up that booking with, as Pat Nevin says, probably the longest shirt pull in the history of football.
Absolutely, that shirt will be about 3 sizes too big now. Did it so long there. But better from Nottingham Forest last couple of minutes. You know, they've got themselves back into it. There was always going to be a period. We said that in the first half that Liverpool got back into it. Well, they've had that, and now it's a much more even game.
Curtis Jones picks up possession and plays the ball forward. Penalty at the Stadium of Light. Rob Law.
And it goes to Fulham after Craig Pawson was sent to the screen because Calvin Bassey had been judged to have been pulled down by Brian Brobby. It's Raul Jimenez for his second of the afternoon, and he rolls it past Robin Roofs to give Fulham some breathing space in this game. It's Sunderland 0, it's Fulham 2.
And commentary continues over on Sports Extra 2. So, Liverpool have a free kick midway through their own half. We're approaching the midway point of the second half, and you can see movement on the Nottingham Forest bench. Dan Ndoye is going to be coming on shortly as Vitor Pereira, in his first Premier League match in charge of Nottingham Forest, looks to just shift the momentum again. They played so well in the first half, Forest, but they weren't able to find the breakthrough against Liverpool, and it's Liverpool who are looking the stronger in this second period. As the ball is up towards halfway, Konate wins the header. Szoboszlai keeps that in and feeds Salah, who's really growing into this game in the second half as the ball goes out of play for a Nottingham Forest throw. Salah doesn't think it should be, neither does Arne Slot. He has both hands on his head, but the referee's decision is ultimately what matters, and Forest do have a throw. Goal, Celtic against Hibs. Kenny Crawford.
24 minutes gone, Celtic 0, Hibernian 1, and it's the German Felix Passlack. His first goal popping up at the back post with a diving header after a brilliant Nicky Cadden cross. Celtic 0, Hibernian 1.
So here comes this double change for Nottingham Forest. Callum Hudson-Odoi is replaced by Dan Ndoye, Switzerland international, and Amari Hutchinson will make way for Dylan Bakwa. He's made a handful of appearances this season. A former France youth international, arrived in the summer from Strasbourg, and Vitor Pereira turns to him.
You know, can I go back to the Scottish results just for a moment? Both Celtic and Rangers getting beat at the moment. Hearts won yesterday. Celtic and Rangers play next week on 5 Live. It's going to be that's extraordinary. That league at the moment with those top 3 teams is amazing at the moment. It's great to see it.
Absolutely. A thrilling race in Scotland. And how will the race in England play out? Commentary of the North London derby coming up with John Murray and Clinton Morrison. Tottenham against Arsenal at 4:30 here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Elsewhere in the 2 o'clock kickoffs, Fulham are leading by 2-0. Still goalless between Crystal Palace and Wolves, as Mo Salah picks the ball up on the right-hand side and plays it in field to Dominic Szoboszlai. Now Virgil van Dijk out to the left-hand side. It's picked up by Cody Gakpo, and he has Gravenberch as an option in field. And Gravenberch in the sunshine will turn and work it to Szoboszlai. And Van Dijk now picks it up and sprays it out to Milos Kerkez on the left-hand side. Just about keeps that ball in. Bakwa, who's just off the bench, is back there defending for Nottingham Forest. And then the ball back to Virgil van Dijk, just about gets there as Liverpool have it on the halfway line. Here is Szoboszlai, still goalless midway through the second half here. Liverpool with a victory would move level on points for Chelsea and Manchester United. Nottingham Forest, as it stands, are moving 3 points clear of the relegation zone as Konate brings the ball forward out to the right-hand side. It's picked up by Salah, swings the ball into the area, headed away before it can reach Ekitike. And Nico Williams will try and control, lovely bit of control, couple of keepy uppies, and then clears the ball over his head. Nice touch by Szoboszlai. Igor Jesus felt he was being fouled, and belatedly the decision does go the way of Nottingham Forest.
Ironic cheering there from the Forest fans, but the big change has those 2 wide players. In the first half, Forest were getting crosses in at will, right and left side, but mostly from that left-hand side of theirs, because Szoboszlai was given far too much space. Since he's moved away back into centre midfield, they've looked better. Obviously Curtis Jones isn't a natural that position, but he does play that position better. So because of that, they've decided to change those 2 wide players and give a little bit more freshness to it. And I think that's a very, very sensible move by Pereira.
Here you go, Szoboszlai. Plays it back to Ibrahima Konate and out to the right-hand side. Now McAllister will scoop it to Szoboszlai and he's easing forward. Feeds Salah, right wing, approaching the Nottingham Forest penalty area. Pulls it back to Curtis Jones, who dinks it, looking for Salah. Szoboszlai will win that header away. But Elliot Anderson latches onto it for Nottingham Forest. Then Igor Jesus goes down and wins another free kick. And there's something else for the Nottingham Forest fans to cheer, although they want to see a little bit more of a punishment, but it's just going to be a set piece for Nottingham Forest, and we're still goalless. Pat Nevin.
Yeah, I think the referee will have a wee quiet word with Konate there. It was a very, very obvious shove in the back there, and he's had a few free kicks. He might have crossed his mind to go for a yellow card, but that would have been quite harsh. But at the moment, I mean, I really like the way Igor Jesus has kept on working, kept on trying to get in their positions. He's not had his chance yet, but you get the that's hilarious. He felt he was shoved over, so he went over and picked the ball up, and the referee said, "No, you weren't shoved." So he's got a yellow card against him, Igor Jesus.
Yeah, he was going for a hat-trick of free kicks there, but he didn't get it. Gravenberg stopped in his tracks just outside the D by Murillo, who's way forward by the Forest fans around us, and he obliges over the halfway line in the sunshine. He has Bakwa to his left if he wants to use him, and he does. Here is Dylan Bakwa approaching the penalty area and drags the shot wide. It wasn't the right decision. Jesus had made the run. He had options to his left as well in Dan and Doy, but he saw the goal and went for goal, and it is tame in the end, and it remains 0-0.
Do you know, it kind of sums up the difference between teams at the top and teams at the bottom. Teams at the top, the real quality, when they make a break like that, it ends up in a shot and goal. It always does. They manipulate the game. They'll be 3-3 or 2-2 or 4-4. They will always end up with a shot towards the goal and ask a question. And on this occasion, it was just a really, really poor finish and the wrong decision eventually in that last third. And that's the reason why Forest are down where they are.
Kirke's in possession for Liverpool. Now slides it back to Virgil van Dijk. Out to the right-hand side, and Curtis Jones now, as Liverpool, who have improved in the second half, look to advance once more towards the Nottingham Forest penalty area, and as Salah easing away from Nico Williams, but just overran it. There was a little bit of pressure from Nico Williams there, and it was enough to put Salah off, and the ball goes behind for a Nottingham Forest goal kick. Pat Nevin.
Well, wasn't it wonderful to see a moment of brilliant Salah play? Lovely little dummy on the line there, leaves the defender for dead, gets 2 or 3 yards away from him, and then gets caught. And that's the difference, isn't it, with Mo Salah? In times gone past, he makes that brilliant little move and he gets away. People weren't getting back to him, and now Nico Williams gets back even though he's got a 2-yard start on him. And that's the slight slowing down that happens with every player at every age.
In the Six Nations, France are leading Italy by 12 points to 0. That match kicked off at 3:10. Commentary is over on the BBC Sport website. As the ball goes out of play for a Liverpool throw on the far side in the sunshine. In the Premier League, Fulham leading 2-0 at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland, who lost that unbeaten Premier League home record to Liverpool last time out, heading for back-to-back defeats. And Crystal Palace still goalless with Wolves. Wolves down to 10 men though. Krejci sent off just after the hour mark at Selhurst Park. Commentary of that one's over on Sports Extra 3. Commentary of Sunderland Fulham's on Sports Extra 2. And Liverpool have another free kick. Pat Nevin.
It's one of those things, if players do that these days, where they think they've got a free kick, so they stop and ask the referee. This referee doesn't always give them. I suppose I stopped there when he felt as if he was tugged a little bit. He's kind of lucky getting that one as well. Play on until the referee blows his whistle, because one of these times you'll do that and the referee won't blow and you'll get punished. It's already almost happened a couple of times in this game.
Here is Curtis Jones on the halfway line for Liverpool as Nico Dominguez is preparing to come on for Nottingham Forest. Cleared away by Murillo. Bounces over the leg of Igor Jesus and all the way back with Alisson. Are we seeing now a bit of tiredness after that trip to Turkey on Thursday creeping in here for Forest?
Yeah, and also, you know, playing at a really high intensity for the first 30 minutes, and remember the first 45 minutes. And remember again, you know, Forest, this team has stayed quite static, hasn't it? A little bit now, because he's got a team that's winning, are winning the odd game and playing quite well. So all the players that are starting are generally starting all the time, and it was very, very high energy. So yeah, partially tiredness and partially, you know, now that they can't close down as quickly, they're chasing shadows a wee bit. The Nottingham Forest midfield, they're not getting on the ball as much, and that makes a difference. But having said that, they're not a bad breaking team when they play in that way.
Yeah, they have just managed to win it through Bakwe. taking it off McAllister. Now out to the left-hand side and Bakwe again. Plays it back to Nico Williams and now Elliot Anderson, and they have it on the halfway line now with Murillo. They have managed to rack up 14 shots in this game, Nottingham Forest. They managed 35, to be fair, in Sean Dyche's last game against Wolves. The most without scoring in a Premier League match by any team since 2016. And one man who was involved in a 6-on-1 break in that game and blazed over at the end of it, Lorenzo Luca, is also going to be coming on for Nottingham Forest to join Nico Dominguez. So another double change being prepared by Vitor Pereira.
And indeed
Liverpool in possession. And indeed Liverpool. Good spot, Pat. So it's the two players, or one of the players you mentioned at half-time, Federico Chiesa, and another you spoke to me about off-air, Ungamoa. What an exciting young talent this man is. A lot of Liverpool fans want to see him given a bit more game time at the moment. The youngest ever goal scorer. And he is preparing to come on as well. Their number 73 as Salah plays the ball to McAllister in the edge of the area, because Liverpool at the moment are missing the chance to go level on points with Chelsea and Manchester United. It's a lovely little back heel from Nico Williams, finds Dan and Doy, lays it off to Murillo, and we are still Nottingham Forest 0, Liverpool 0. 15 minutes to go here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds with the North London derby coming up at 4:30. Pat Nevin.
Yeah, just look at Liverpool making the changes. Interesting, because there are limited changes they can make. You know, not bringing on a huge amount of experience, but they want somebody. They need a game changer on there.
Over on the far side, his Bakwe just won't keep that in, and the throw goes the way of Liverpool deep in their own territory. So here we go. 4 changes coming up. Let's go through them. 2 for Nottingham Forest and 2 for Liverpool. So first for Forest, Elliot Anderson coming off and Nico Dominguez coming on. Well, he's run himself into the ground again, Elliot Anderson, and again standing ovation from the City ground here.
Yeah, and you know, correct, he's getting that. I would say Gibbs White also, the amount of work that he puts in the game, getting up and down, doing the ugly stuff as well. Very impressed with his work today. And no surprise that Igor Jesus has come off either, because he's fought and battled and chased, but he's always been 2-1 against them, hasn't he? And it's Konate, certainly he's made it tough for him, but Virgil van Dijk, he makes it tough, particularly for his ability, but also because he looks as if he's not trying against you, which is really infuriating.
So he is replaced by the towering figure of Lorenzo Luca, and Mo Salah is coming off for Liverpool. He is being replaced by 17-year-old Rio Ungamoa, as we say, Liverpool's youngest goal scorer, the youngest starter in the game, youngest European and FA Cup player. The records just keep tumbling for this young man. 1 goal for the season. That came in the 100th minute, the winner against Newcastle.
I was there for the game, and it was one of the most extraordinary moments. He just come on, and he looked, apart from anything else, he looked incredibly sharp, and he was doing well when he came on. But to score in that 100th minute, when it was incredible.
And the other change sees Chiesa come on for Gakpo. So, goal in the Women's FA Cup, Emily Kilner.
And it's a goal for Chelsea. There was nothing to separate these teams in normal time, but Naomi Girma separates them now. Slotted it into the top right following a corner with 10 minutes into extra time, and it is Chelsea 2, Manchester United 1.
Throw to Nottingham Forest over on the far side, back to the Stadium of Light. Rob Law.
And it's still Sunderland 0, Fulham 2, but Sunderland is stirring. Brian Brobby played in Angulo, who's completely free on the right-hand side of the box. He should have done better with his effort, though. He lifted it well over the crossbar, and there is a penalty to Sunderland, so they have an opportunity to get back in it, as Granit Xhaka has been introduced to the loudest cheer of the afternoon, closely followed by that cheer you just heard. We'll come back to this. Sunderland 0, Fulham 2 as things stand, but Sunderland with the penalty.
Thanks, Rob. We'll be right back there with you at the Stadium of Light. Here, Alexis McAllister is down for Liverpool and looks in some discomfort right outside the centre circle. He's holding his left knee just below the knee and doesn't look happy, Pat, as we see a replay of this.
Yeah, it's raked down the front of his shin there, the backward. And it's one of those ones where, yeah, sometimes the referee will look at that and say, well, I need to have a serious look at it. I don't think there's much power in it, but because the studs go down the shin. I mean, they will be looking at VAR with the possibility of a red card. I think that would be a dreadfully harsh red card if it was given. I think it was just missed time, and I don't think there was any force behind it. But they will consider it.
Yeah, he's up to his feet, Alexis McAllister. No announcement as yet in the stadium, and we are, I think, going to get straight back underway. But I'm sure VAR, as you say, Pat, will have had a look at that. They are happy to let it go. So, back to the Stadium of Light, Rob Law.
This is a chance for Sunderland to get back in it against Fulham. They trail by 2-0. Dan Ballard was dragged down inside the area by Ryan Sessegnon, and it's going to be Enzo Lefebvre to take it. He's had to wait some time. He's up against Bernd Leno, who hasn't saved a penalty so far this season. He dances on his line, and Enzo Lefebvre finds the back of the net. This is not over yet. It's Sunderland 1, it's Fulham 2.
And commentary continues on Sports Extra 2 as Bakwa closes down Allison, who launches it long. It's over the head of Olorina, who wants Stefan Ortega to come and take charge, and he does. He doesn't really know what to do with it there, Ortega. Goes right out on the right wing, clears it away. It does fall to a red shirt of Nottingham Forest, and they should be able to work it forward as Bakwa drops into that midfield to help out there. As Sangare now plays it up. It's over the head of the 6'7" Lorenzo Luca, currently the joint tallest outfield player in the Premier League at the moment, but even that ball was too high for him. Forest have it back though. Dan and Doy down the left-hand side, taking on Curtis Jones, pulls it across off Canate. Did it get a ricochet? Yes, it did, off Dan and Doy from that deflection off Canate. Took a nick off and Doy on the way through, and it is a Liverpool goal kick, and we are still goalless into the final 10 minutes plus added time.
Yeah, but the Forest fans will be thinking, yeah, we've got an entire new forward line on now. So a little bit of zap, a little bit more positivity. They've got the big man to hit as well, so they can lump it up long there once or twice, but he's got the same problem as the striker before him. He's got two men marking him, and I have to say Canate's been very, very good today, and Van Dijk been very, very special, as he almost always is. But there's that bit more liveliness about Forest since they have, as I say, changed that entire front line.
Good closing down by Dan and Doy there, blocking the clearance from Curtis Jones, and almost managed to keep the ball in as well, down by the corner flag. Has gone out for a Liverpool throw deep in their own territory. Here's Chiesa, he's dispossessed by Nico Williams, and Doy then dispossessed by Curtis Jones. Nico Williams then gets it back from Jones, and then Dominguez will dig out the delivery, but too close to Allison. And it remains goalless here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Commentary of Tottenham against Arsenal coming up at 4:30. Sunderland have got a goal back against Fulham. Fulham lead by 2-1 and still goalless between Crystal Palace and 10-man Wolves. Commentary of that over on Sports Extra 3 as Liverpool win a free kick just inside their own half. Pat Nevin.
It was very noticeable there. Alisson got the ball there from across, and you think, right, play that quickly, zip, you've got a chance now, you can go on the break. And just nobody looked for it. Alisson was desperate to throw it quickly. Nobody looked for it. And it's very un-Liverpool that. You know, Liverpool at their best. They know they've got a chance to break. They know there is space to break into. But absolutely not. Nobody looking for it.
Chiesa hooks the ball forward looking for Szoboszlai. McAllister will send it to Chiesa once more. Another double change being prepared for Liverpool. Joe Gomez and Andy Robertson are going to be sent on by Arne Slot. Liverpool, who remember lost Florian Wirtz in the warm-up. That's why Curtis Jones came into this match as Nico Dominguez challenges Chiesa, and the ball goes out of play for a Liverpool throw. So here comes the next Liverpool double change. Curtis Jones is being replaced by Joe Gomez, so another option at right back comes on for Liverpool. They must have had about 7 players playing there this season so far. And Andy Robertson is on for Milos Kerkez.
You just wonder if Robertson's the most important thing here, because he's such a leader in the group alongside the likes of Van Dijk, but also he's got brilliant ability to put in balls from that left-hand side, and there's no way Robertson's just going to sit at left back and just wait there and expect it to happen for him. He will go forward and try and create something.
That's another weapon from Joe Gomez. Long throw, cleared away by Forrest, falls to Gravenberch, can't get the shot away. And Doy trying to clear it away, ball goes out of play, and it's gone out of play for a Liverpool throw midway through the Nottingham Forest half on the right-hand side. So, elsewhere in the Scottish Premiership, and Rangers and Celtic approaching half-time are still behind. Celtic losing 1-0 at home to Hibs. Livingston leading Rangers by 1-0. As Joe Gomez launches it long again to the edge of that 6-yard box. Forest struggling to clear it. Ortega came and got something on it and hacked clear in the end by Nico Williams. Forest have a player down inside their own penalty area, so Anthony Taylor has stopped play.
Try to see if it was Murillo who'd gone down there, but I think the keeper's come straight through the back of him there, hasn't it? Actually, it's not. It's Nico Williams. Is it Nico Williams? I'm trying to see who it's. Oh, he's gone right into the back of the knee. Milenkovic in the back there. That's not a painful one. That'll be stiff in the morning.
So another long throw for Joe Gomez. Liverpool piling on the pressure as they look for the breakthrough. Cleared away. Well, by Lorenzo Luca, all 6'7" of him. Back forward by Andy Robertson. Van Dijk still up there. Headed on inside the penalty area. Cleared away over his head by Ibrahim Sangare. And now Morgan Gibbs-White. Picked up by Backware over on the right-hand side. Plays it off Robertson for a throw to Nottingham Forest midway through their own half. 0-0 here. Back to Selhurst Park. Suhail Sahi.
Also scoreless here. We've got 5 minutes of the 90 to play. Crystal Palace have been poor since Wolves have gone down to 10 men. They've not really created anything. Wolves, as you'd expect, defending on the edge of the penalty area, playing on the counter-attack. Crystal Palace 0, Wolves 0.
That will be such a frustration for Palace fans. I remember being here at the City Ground where same thing happened against Nottingham Forest. Nico Williams saved it on the goal line, sent off. Palace scored the penalty to make it 1-1, but couldn't find the winner in the second half. Is it going to happen again against 10 men? A big chance to win squandered as Nico Williams plays the ball into the area. Alisson got something on it. Gibbs-White excellently blocked away. Falls to Sangare, just wide of the post. Forest's best chance of this second half.
Much better, get down the left-hand side, brilliant cross in. Alisson had to go for it. He knew he wasn't going to be able to catch it. He knew he wasn't going to be able to punch it, but he had to change the direction of it. And the person who got his body in the way was that Andy Robertson. He turns his back on it, but he goes and makes himself as big as possible. It's off his backside. Another chance for Sangare. That was on target as well, and that's the one thing he will say about that Liverpool back line. They'll put the bodies on the line for it. But two real, definitely half chances for Nottingham Forest near the end of this game.
4 minutes to play. It is still goalless. Nottingham Forest have it on the halfway line and they're driving forward with Sangare, and the game just opening up in the final stages here as the ball is played across and Joe Gomez safety first plays it behind to the Women's FA Cup 5th round. Chelsea against Manchester United. They're in extra time. Emily Kilner.
It's Chelsea 2, Manchester United 1. There were 3 Chelsea changes, including Khadisha Buchanan, who to the fans' delight is playing for the first time since November 2024. It was Naomi Girma who gave Chelsea the lead. The Americans slotted the ball away. We're into the second half now of extra time. It is Chelsea 2, Manchester United 1.
So Forest with this corner from the near side into a packed 6-yard box. Alisson got something on it. Ngamoa will latch onto it on the edge of the penalty area, but Nico Dominguez stops that Liverpool counter from the 17-year-old. And Forest have it over on the far side. Here's Sangare, who's really shining in the last 6 or 7 minutes or so. And the ball behind gets a deflection. It's another Nottingham Forest corner. Goal at Celtic. Kenny Crawford.
45 minutes gone. Celtic 1, Hibernian 1, and it's the man who bails Celtic out so often, Benjamin Nygren. 18th goal of the season, stooping to head in a Tierney cross. Celtic 1, Hibs 1.
And Rangers still losing at Livingston, that approaching half-time as well. Forest with this corner in the dying stages here from the far side. It's pulled back to Dan and Doy. Tried to place it, blocked away by Liverpool. Headed on again by Lorenzo Luca. He's appealing for a handball there. Big shout towards referee Anthony Taylor. Liverpool have cleared it with Ngamoa. There's nobody really up there for them. Oleraina will steer it back to Stefan Ortega, who has it just outside the Nottingham Forest penalty area. Launches it over the halfway line. And all of a sudden, it feels like both teams are throwing absolutely everything at this in the final stages. It's Joe Gomez down the right-hand side. Nico Dominguez wants the throw. He's not going to get it. Liverpool throw. Half-time Livingston Rangers. Martin Dowden.
Livingston 1, Rangers 0. Brooklyn Kabongolo's opener in 14 minutes. Still the difference. Rangers pushing, but they can't break an excellent goalkeeper. Livingston 1, Rangers 0.
It's all got very exciting all of a sudden, Pat.
Yeah, and the pace of the game's lifted. Both teams going to win it now. And Gomez has actually probably got, I would say, 5th or 6th throw in from this position.
And he launches it long. It reaches the edge of the 6-yard box. It's cleared away by Nico Williams. Collected by Szoboszlai. Out to Gomez, right-hand side. Chops it back to Szoboszlai once more. Midway through the Nottingham Forest half. Gomez whips it in left-footed. Poor delivery. Sangare, though, can't keep hold of it. Kanate does really well. Plays it out to Ungamoa. Right-hand side. Couple of step-overs from the 17-year-old down to the byline. Digs the delivery. It's a brilliant one. Fantastic save by Ortega. But it ricochets in. Alexis McAllister has surely won it late for Liverpool to stun Nottingham Forest. It was a super save by Ortega initially from Ekitike, but McAllister was there to prod it home, and Nottingham Forest's hearts are broken, and Liverpool surely have won it.
Incredible. The man they bring on the right hand side to replace Mo Salah is the guy who goes down the lane. The cross goes in there. You thought he's got to score with that header. You cannot believe he's not scored with that header. Lovely little dink to the back post there. Winger's dream there. Ekitike doesn't manage to put it into the net, but as he tries to clear it, is it Aina who tries to clear it, and it smashes off the back. Is it McAllister? I'm sure it is McAllister, who has no idea about it. Just turns his back on it, smashes off the back of him, straight up into the roof of the net. Now they will check it for the offside for the first cross, but I couldn't see much wrong with Ekitike's first header, even though he's coming from an unusual angle. How devastating must that be for Forest? They are sitting here hoping against hope that Ekitike was offside.
The only other question is exactly where it hits McAllister as he turns his back. I think it's on the T-shirt line. They might be having a look at that as well. Yeah, they're looking for a possible handball. It's as Pat says, as Ola Aina clears it, McAllister turns his back, it smashes off him into the goal, and he's saying, he's padding his T-shirt line and saying, no, it hit it on the T-shirt line. There's not enough of the ball below that for it to be a handball. But VAR are having a look. So will this goal be disallowed? And again, we're seeing a lot of replays here. Oh, it's a hard one, isn't it, Pat? It's a really hard one.
By the way, it's hit his arm, his upper arm just above his elbow. But I think it may have also hit a bit of his back as well. So it's one of those ones.
It's going to be so harsh, but by the letter of the law, if they think that that is below enough the T-shirt line and it's nearer the elbow, it's going to be disallowed, because it doesn't matter. It's absolutely not deliberate. It's accidental, and there is the cheer. The goal is disallowed for handball, and by the letter of the law, from the replays we've seen, I think that is the right decision. But it is so harsh, because as you say, Pat, it half hits his back, it half hits his arm. It's probably just enough below that T-shirt line that it does count as hitting the arm rather than the shoulder, and so the goal is ruled out, and Liverpool, who thought they had scored the late winner, have not, and it is still 0-0. Straight to Selhurst Park, where there's been a goal. Sohail Sahi.
Crystal Palace 1, Wolves 0. The goal coming in the 90th minute. Wharton picked up Mitchell down the left-hand side. He controlled it first time, crossed it the second time, and it was steered in by Evan Gessan, on loan from Aston Villa, scoring his first goal for Crystal Palace. They lead 10-man Wolves by a goal to 0.
Well, what drama late on here on 5 Live. Nottingham Forest have made another change. Gibbs White is on, James McAtee is off. Half-time at Celtic, Kenny Crawford.
Celtic won, Hibs won. The visitors struck first with a well-worked move which culminated in Nicky Cadden crossing for Felix Paslak to head in at the back post. But in first half added time, the ever-reliable Benjamin Negron equalised with a lovely header from Tierney's cross. 1-1.
And Nottingham Forest have won a corner, and Pat, anything could happen now.
Anything could happen, and we could have any amount of time added on, because they did add the time on there, but nothing happened because we'd gone to the VAR. So it's absolutely open for how long we're going to be playing here. We've got a real game of football, but certainly these last 10 minutes or so have been the best of the game.
Yeah, in all that, it was 3 minutes added on, but as Pat says, nothing happened in that 3 minutes because they were doing a VAR check, so we've probably got at least another 3. It's a corner kick to Nottingham Forest, who thought they'd lost it. Can they win it? It's sent far to the far post. It's just about kept in on the byline, but then that cross back across goes behind it. It's a Liverpool goal kick, and it's still 0-0. Goal at Sunderland, Rob Law.
And it's Sunderland 1, Fulham 3 as things stand. The fight back was short-lived by the home side. It was a counter-attack from Fulham. Harry Wilson involved, as he so often is. He fed the run of Iwobi, who finished calmly from a really tight angle. Sunderland 1, Fulham 3 with minutes left to play.
Well, as promised to Steve Crossman at half-time, we did bring the goals late on in the 2 o'clock here at 5 Live. But Liverpool's has been disallowed. We are still 0-0. Still we play on in added time at the end of this game. Nottingham Forest with a throw, Pat Neville.
There was one thing to add to this, which is almost forgotten in the madness. Ekitike has had one of the misses of the season there, which he should have scored the goal. His header should have been in the back of the net. The rebound eventually came out and it would go in the net, but it's been disallowed. So you have to look back at it and say, Ekitike, bad miss.
You are so right, Pat. Sangare drives. So I'll tell you what, that would have been a stunner. 30 yards, always sailing wide of that post. But you're so right, Pat, because at the time, neither of us could believe that Ekitike had missed it. He was 6 yards out on the corner of the 6-yard box. It was a free header with a capital F, capital H. Great save by Ortega, but he never should have been given the opportunity. Ekitike should have buried it, Liverpool's top scorer this season, and then we wouldn't have had to go to VAR for the handball with McAllister.
Exactly. It's the best chance by a country mile in the entirety of the game for any player. And he waited a long time for Ekitike because he's not been had a great involvement in this game today. He's been well marshalled by those two centre-backs, but it's a gigantic miss in hindsight.
And is it going to be a gigantic missed opportunity for Liverpool? To be fair, Nottingham Forest have more than played their part, particularly in the first half when they were much the better side. But Liverpool recovered, have played pretty well in this second half. Thought they'd found the late winner, ruled out for handball against McAllister after a VAR review. But Ngumoa has it once more. He who fashioned that excellent chance and lovely skills to take him past the red shirts as the ball is played into the area. Murillo's there, really intelligent header because he knew Chiesa was right on his shoulder. Heads the ball out of the penalty area, but they can't complete the clearance effectively, Nottingham Forest. They have conceded the throw, and Joe Gomez is rolling up his sleeves and getting ready to launch this one in. We played far over the 3 minimum added minutes, but that was pretty much all VAR for the first 3. But we must be approaching the final 60 seconds or so of this game. Joe Gomez takes it shorter this time to Szoboszlai. The away fans behind the goal roar at Liverpool to get the ball into the penalty area. The whistles are going from the Nottingham Forest fans as Szoboszlai plays it in, and the header towards goal, saved by Ortega. It's steered in, and surely this time McAllister has won it for Liverpool. It's happened again in the space of just a few minutes, and no suspicion of handball this time as Vitor Pereira turns away in disgust. His first Premier League match as Nottingham Forest manager is going to end right at the death in defeat. It's McAllister who's there again for Liverpool, and surely this time, with virtually the last kick of the game, they have won it.
Well, you'd think so. I mean, the only question would be if it was Ekitike was offside when the ball was played in, which I thought he was. The ball is played in there. He looked to me like he was a yard off, but did he get the header? No, he didn't. It was McAllister following up from another player's header at the back post. So yeah, Ekitike well offside. It was Van Dijk that got the header. The question remains, was he offside? We have had all sorts of drama in this. They've got to look at that again.
Yeah.
I thought Ekitike was offside. As I'm looking across there, I actually think this is offside. I don't think it's going to count. I can't be sure because it's very, very tight. But Liverpool could well score 2 goals in injury time and get none of them.
Pat, I think you're right. Ekitike definitely offside. The only question then would be if he's interfering with play, but Van Dijk I think as well, exactly, is offside as well, so they're not even going to have to look at Ekitike. Well, they're drawing the lines.
Vicky, a lot of the Forest fans walked out in disgust there because they say lightning can't strike twice, it won't be chopped off quite twice. They should walk back in here and watch this. Oh, it's given it.
Well, the goal is given.
Wow.
And that, from the angles that we're seeing, is very interesting indeed. And Vitor Pereira in disgust. Well, let's have a look. Hang on a minute. There was a big cheer there from the Liverpool fans. Nottingham Forest have the ball on the spot. Anthony Taylor still has his hand on his watch. Now, what is he saying? Is he?
Oh,
there we go. There we go. We do have the confirmation. It is going to stand. Now we get underway. Just onside. It is the narrowest of narrow decisions deemed by VAR and the semi-automated offsides technology. And that McAllister goal does stand. And here come Liverpool once again. So Liverpool lead by 1-0. We've got seconds left to play, surely, as Nottingham Forest concede the throw over on the far side. And it's the Liverpool fans in the sunshine away to our right that are celebrating and chanting because their side are moving level on points with Chelsea and Manchester United.
Well, it was a mad finish. It was worth waiting for all the stuff that's happened, and there it is.
That's it. There were seconds left to play. And with seconds left in this game, at the second time of asking, Alexis McAllister has won it for Liverpool. He thought he'd snatched it moments before, but that effort was ruled out for handball. They had a long wait to check for offside. It was nervy for Liverpool, but in the end, the celebrations in the sunshine are for Arne Slot. They are for Liverpool. They have beaten Nottingham Forest by 1-0. Pat Nevin.
I can't actually say Liverpool absolutely deserved it over the course of the game, but that's what top teams do. They keep on going and they have gears that they can go through now and again. And it has to be said, Liverpool went through a few gears in the second half, not massive high ones, until those last 5 or 10 minutes where they really put the pressure on. They asked lots of questions. I think Ngoa come on and made a big difference. He was asking questions down the right hand side, putting great crosses in, one that Ekitike should not have missed. But that little injection of pace was all that Liverpool needed, and the willingness to go and by the end of the game create chances. They weren't open wins all the time, but they created the chances. You do feel sorry for Forest, but you did feel that, didn't we? That at some point in that first half, with that amount of dominance, you've got to get ahead, and they just didn't have the quality to get ahead. So Liverpool could have walked away here delighted, but possibly relieved on top of all of that. They didn't look like, to me, like a team, Vicky, that was thinking Champions League is on. This is Champions League maybe decided in days like today. They didn't seem to think that until 10 minutes before the end, and when they thought it, they won it.
Yeah, in many ways they've got away with one here at Liverpool. They were dire in the first half, much improved in the second, although as Pat said at half-time they couldn't have got any worse, and they have won it with the latest of late goals and the tightest of tight decisions. It finishes at the City Ground. Nottingham Forest 0, Liverpool 1.